Boston College, number 3 Virginia Tech. When you look at the polls, there's no better head-to-head than right here, right now, on this Thursday night. Mike Tirico, Kirk Herbstreit, Erin Andrews. We've been coming here for several years on Thursday nights. Nobody has embraced and succeeded more on the Thursday night stage than the Hokies. This atmosphere is so unique and has really grown over the last few years, Kirk.
This is what college football is all about. On a Thursday night to come into this stadium, you and I have seen this so many times, but it never gets old. And the way they have this new configuration of the stadium, this crowd is electric. The Hokies typically feed off of that crowd, and it's going to be interesting. Boston College is going to get the football first. How do they handle the crowd? How do they handle the pressure is going to be a very important ingredient for them to try to come out of here with a win tonight.
And we welcome to the Thursday night Blacksburg environment for the first time, Erin Andrews. Erin.
Well, Mike, there is just something special about Virginia Tech on Thursday night prime time football. When you look at this crowd and you take into consideration they have won 10 consecutive games on Thursday night, you have to agree there is something special. In fact, their head coach Frank Beamer said this is the equivalent of playing on Monday Night Football. Last night during Boston College's team meeting, their head coach Tom O'Brien says take advantage of this national stage. It is your opportunity to show the country just what you are made of. And guys, you know Virginia Tech, their record on Thursday night, 11-1. That only lost to BC in 1995.
BC talking about that as motivation, as Kirk said. Virginia Tech's defense will be on the field first, so Tom O'Brien's offense will come on the field. Tom O'Brien coached at the University of Virginia for many years. He's got a background on the offensive line. And as we look at the Bud Light starting lineups, the BC offense features a good run game. Kirk mentioned the senior Quentin Porter out of Maine will start with Whitworth and Lynch as the fullback for the injured Mark Palmer. The receivers are 2 men in Will Blackman and Larry Lester, who were defensive backs, have moved over to the offensive side and given them some game-breaking ability. As for the offensive line, I'm just going to read their weights here. 321, 315, 298, small guy, 325, and 320. This is an NFL-size offensive line. Jeremy Trueblood is the guy who they count on the most on that left side. The uniforms are different. They're new. Virginia Tech is wearing all orange down one sleeve, all maroon down the other sleeve. Nike made new uniforms for the Hokies in 3 other schools, Southern California, Miami, and Oregon. And Virginia Tech is debuting those uniforms here tonight. That's why if they look different, they are. Jared DeVelli is going to kick it off for Virginia Tech, which defer the option to the second half. And we'll see Will Blackman back on kickoff return for BC. Hokies are 7-0, one of the 6 unbeatens. Will they be after tonight? Off we go from Blacksburg. Deep kick, no return for Blackman. BC will start the drive from the 20. Virginia Tech's defense, nobody has given up fewer points in America this year. Only Miami has given up fewer yards. Ellis, Powell, Lewis, and Darryl Tapp, the senior. Look at all the Virginia kids. 4 on the defensive front. All 3 backers. Vince Hall, Xavier Adibi, James Anderson. Doesn't get the herald of the other guys, but is just as productive. You want more Virginia guys? Here you come. Jimmy Williams, the talkative senior quarter. Aaron Rouse, Justin Hamilton, and a Washington, D.C. kid from a couple hours away from here. Roland Minor. Crowd roaring. Drive starts from the 20. LV Whitworth, nothing. Second down and 10 coming up.
And Mike, for Boston College, as we've talked about quite a bit here early in the broadcast, it's about weathering the storm early. Quentin Porter realizes that. He's coming off a game where he had 4 turnovers himself. It's important for him to find some confidence and have some small successes to try to build up his confidence within his offense and himself.
Quick count. Porter to the air for the first time. To Whitworth. The screen. Beat one would-be tackler. Gains about 6. Eventually brought down by Roland Minor. We'll have 3rd and 4 coming up.
Like as small as it may sound, that was a successful play for Porter and a successful play in moving them into a position now where they have a chance on 3rd down. This is a Boston College offense that's the best in the ACC on 3rd down, 48%. And the reason is they continue to get into 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. Let's see how they do here tonight with their first opportunity.
Three receivers, shotgun, quick count again. The underneath throw is a first down to Larry Lester, who is brought down with a high but legal hit by Xavier Adibi out at the 37-yard line. So a pickup of 11, and the drive will continue.
Like we just talked about, getting yourself in a position to be successful. This is a big play for this offense and for Porter, dealing with the crowd coming off the game that they had. Did you notice the time that he had to throw the football on third down? That's another key for Boston College, is giving Porter that time to evaluate the defense.
And all quick counts, all four plays. Whitworth into the line. The sophomore only gains about a yard. So look at it behind the play as the pushing continues. Chris Ellis made the tackle, but James Martin was downfield. Let's talk about the edges when BC has the ball. Kirk's Under Armour advantage tonight.
Well, we've touched on a couple of them. Avoiding the early mistakes. We saw Georgia Tech come in here about a month ago, and by the end of the first quarter, the game was almost over. Avoid the early mistakes. Give your quarterback time to throw. And for Virginia Tech, make Boston College drive the football. Don't give up the easy play. Make them go 80 yards in 13 plays and hope that you can create a mistake within that drive.
Second down, first man covered, come back and incomplete for Lester. It almost turned into an interception. The story of that play was the quick pressure by Jonathan Lewis. Third down and 8 coming up.
Third down and 9 for Boston College.
Virginia Tech has changed their philosophy over the last few years. Bud Foster, one of the best defensive coordinators in the past, has used man pressure and brought a lot of people, a lot of linebackers and safeties. He is so good up front now that he's able to be conservative on the back end and get the pressure with 4.
Three receivers, one back. Porter moves to buy some time, threw it on the run, and it's caught at midfield for the first down by Lester. Lester did a nice job adjusting to the pass, a gain of 11. And as Kirk said, BC, best in the conference on third down, has picked up 2 of them.
Mike, they're also doing a great job here. Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator, in moving Porter around. There's a tempo to this offense right now. Not sitting in the pocket, not being an easy target, rolling him out on third down. A great throw by Porter to pick up the first.
They've picked up 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 8. Whitworth gains a couple of yards there. You know, Boston College over the last 5 or 6 years has had one back that has carried the load. This year it is much like last year with Andre Collender, another sophomore who we'll see later on. And this guy, L.V. Whitworth out of Milton, Mass, is averaging 4.5 a carry. More by committee, but they have been as productive as past BC backs. Just not one guy with a 1,000-yard season. Another quick count. Whitworth quickly put to the ground. Really no gain. We'll have 3rd and about 7 coming up. Vince Hall, the sophomore out of Chesapeake.
I really like the way Porter, as a veteran, he's been in some hostile environments before. I like how he's getting his team in and out of the huddle, especially on early downs, and kind of combating the aggressive defense and the hostility from the crowd, not backing down, but stepping in to that pressure. Here's another third down. They've been successful twice.
They've made 3rd and 4, 3rd and 8. This 3rd and 7 incomplete, intended for Chris Miller. Really not open. Vince Hall would have tackled him even if he caught it. So after 2 first downs and a 9-play drive, Boston College will punt it away. And as always, when you do a Virginia Tech game, the punt is not a throwaway down. Sometimes it's the most exciting down of the game. Johnny Ayers, the punter for BC, knows that these guys, led by Darryl Tapp, are ready. They're trying to get a punt block. They haven't gotten in as much this year. Ayers has had a couple blocked. He's at the 47, not always where you try to come get one. Ayers gets it away. No real contact. He just lost his momentum. And just the impact of the threat of their rush. The ball goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So it's a punt of only 22 yards. Here come the Hokies. They score 37.5 points a game. On the Bud Light starting lineup, Marcus Vick with Mike Emo. You're going to see Cedric Humes in the backfield tonight as well, returning from a broken bone in his arm. David Clowney's the one receiver who's led them with 19, but they have a lot of good pass catchers. Jeff King is an excellent tight end as well. Up front, Jimmy Martin starts for the 41st consecutive time. He's a kid who wasn't heavily recruited out of high school. He's with Montgomery, McGrath, Murphy, and Brown. But Jimmy told us yesterday, I never thought I'd be starting at the Division 1A level, let alone 41 in a row. Marcus Vick to the air right away. Complete to Eddie Royal, who gets away from the tackle and is taken out of bounds after a 15-yard gain. At the 40. And right away, Marcus Vick involved in conversation, which is a part of his game. Kirk will get into that in a minute. And let's introduce you to the guys out there from Boston College. Matthias Kiwanuka, we featured at the beginning. He starts. Al Washington, also a disruptor up front, just as important. Linebackers, all top 3 tacklers. Brown, Henderson, and Brian Toll, who you'll see on offense. Virginia Tech wanted number 16 here. He's a good player. Tribble and Williams on the corner. Glasper and Silva, the safeties. Jamie Silva out of East Providence, the ACC Defensive Player of the Week. Last time BC played. And we get our first flag of the night. Ron Cherry, who worked our game last week in Maryland, works the Virginia Tech game here in Blacksburg this evening.
Contact, offside, 56 on the defense. 5 yards. We still have first down.
That's Al Washington out of Columbus, Ohio.
Mike, Marcus Vick, you talked about how from time to time he gets involved in some verbal confrontations with the opponent. And it was interesting. In first play, he makes a great throw. He gets into a little bit. His brother's right on the sideline, Michael Vick. Michael Vick's yelling at him, keep your cool, slow down, relax.
The 45, the blitz ran into each other, and Clowney is open. David Clowney on the run to the 13-yard line. Pick up a 42 and a first down. The pressure was coming, but a BC player got in the way of a BC player.
Mike, when I was on the field prior to the game, Brian Steinspring, the offensive coordinator from Virginia Tech, said, Herbie, we're going to give Marcus a lot of flexibility at the line of scrimmage. Let him count the numbers, and when he feels that they're taking away the run, we're going to go to the pass. He read it perfectly, made a nice throw, and then Clowney cut back behind in front of the safety and almost took it to the end zone.
Cedric Humes is now the deep back. He has it. Broken arm just a few weeks ago, back on the field, in large part thanks to the engineering department here at Virginia Tech, in addition to the medical staff. It's a story we'll explain later, but Humes gets a good gain of about 3 yards, and more importantly, takes that first hit holding onto the ball.
Well, last week, Virginia Tech had some problems getting the ball into the end zone once they got into this area. My guess is you're going to see Marcus Vick with the ability to throw the football and also the option to run. When you give him that combination threat, it makes it very tough for a defense.
To Hughes, stretch it to the left. Good pursuit by Ray Henderson. Second leading tackler on this team. He started 33 in a row. Linebacker calls all the plays, joins Ryan Glasper to force third down.
Mike, not only did he show some athletic ability to be able to take down Cedric Humes, but he's taking on a block at the same time, trying to run. And Cedric Humes is a powerful running back. He makes such a difference. But look at Henderson just sell out, make a nice play as he was diving over Jimmy Martin, who was pulling to the outside, and made a nice play to force third down.
For Justin Harper, the size guy, couldn't haul it in, and incomplete. Will have fourth down. Harper is 6'3". DeJuan Tribble, the corner, is 5'9". So they try to use that half-foot size advantage, but couldn't get it done.
I don't want to make this sound like Boston College is out tonight for moral victories, very close to making a catch. But the way this game has started, they picked up a couple of first downs. They gave up a big play. Now they're forcing Pace to kick a field goal. Those early in the game, those are big accomplishments being on the road in Lane Stadium for Boston College.
Pace, 26-yarder from the left hash mark. Able to bang it through. He hit the upright from a similar spot last week at Maryland. Virginia Tech scores on its opening drive, and number 3 leads by 3.
How'd you learn to pour like that?
It was nothing.
Put on side, no good. Put on center, the release combination and aroma. Again! 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 Pour down center.
Redesigned 2006 Saturn Vue. Get a new 2006 Saturn Vue starting at $17,990 MSRP with OnStar service standard for 1 year.
Good boy. Get the Bulldog of Shredders. Protects more homes and businesses worldwide. Fellows, the world's toughest shredders. Enter for your chance to be ESPN's guest at 3 major sporting events. Look for the Fellows display at Staples.
You want Wendy's bacon mushroom melt. Bacon, mushrooms, and creamy, dreamy cheddar cheese sauce. All on a hot and juicy cheeseburger. Go now. Do Wendy's. Do what tastes right.
You're on a mission to get an amazing new TV this year. But you want to be absolutely sure you pick the right one. Circuit City makes it simple. That's because only Circuit City has a website with thousands of customer reviews that rate all the hot new stuff. Plus, home entertainment experts in our stores who make choosing the right TV a lot simpler. Circuit City.
Need a wireless plan with a ton more minutes?
What did I do?
Now T-Mobile introduces the most one-ever minutes ever. 3,000 for just $49.99.
T-Mobile. Get more minutes.
3-0 Virginia Tech here. Here's the weekend big game on ESPN, our college football primetime presented by Polaroid. Well, you know one thing, Michigan's going to take it down to the wire, and no Big Ten game's been decided until the final 30 seconds. Brett Bassinet and Northwestern putting up a ton of points, but also giving up more yards than anybody in the country. Northwestern Michigan, the Big Ten in primetime, Saturday night on ESPN.
That could be a heck of a shootout because of Bassinet, and Sutton has provided so much of a punch in that backfield, and Michigan's regained their confidence in their last 2 weeks.
DeVelli with a shorter kickoff. Blackman returns from the goal line. Will Blackman, very good return man, down the sideline. And stepped out of bounds. He stepped out at the 43. So a very nice return from Blackman, who with that return is just 3 yards shy of 3,000 return yards in his career. We're in Blacksburg, Virginia, where the Hokies are so dominant on Thursday night when they have lost just once. Virginia Tech, third with Texas passing USC in this week's second edition of the BCS standings. BC, tough place to play, but they're not intimidated by going on the road. They've won 5 in a row on the road against ranked teams. The first of those 5 came right here when Tom O'Brien's team won 2 years ago, 34-27. This play is stopped. Flag thrown by the umpire, Dan Worrell.
Prior to the snap, first start, offense, number 77. It's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That is Gosder Sherilis who makes the mistake. One of few he'll make. He is an impressive-looking tackle.
Both these tackles are as big and about as athletic as you could hope for. They're very important tonight for Quentin Porter when it comes to giving him the time that he's going to have to throw the football.
Andre Collender, the other sophomore, now behind the quarterback. Porter dances out of the pocket, will keep it, and will get thrown to the ground by Xavier Adibi. No gain there. Kirk, this has got to be a tough place, even for a senior quarterback, because a lot's going on. There's a lot of speed. There's a lot of noise. Does Porter have the poise to come through it?
Just talking with him last night, I was impressed with his look, and I think very impressed with his confidence despite his last game against Wake Forest, where he had the turnovers. I go back to the Florida State game. Game day, college game day, went into Chestnut Hill to watch that game, and 5 minutes into the game, it's 14-0 Florida State. You're thinking a blowout. He led them back and kept his composure throughout that game. That sold me.
Collender, nice run down to the 45 before 3rd and 8. Aaron has more on the quarterback from Maine.
Yeah, and to add to that, Herbie, Quentin told me the key for him in this game tonight is not to let this crowd get to him. He said he has to be the calm, so to speak, in the storm because he knows this Virginia Tech defense thrives off of opponents' mistakes, guys.
And Aaron, he showed that after that Florida State loss at home, second ACC game, first on the road. They went down to Clemson. They win in overtime, but Porter wasn't the quarterback for that game at the end, but backup Matthew Ryan was. So it's not just the quarterback with poise, it's this entire offense. 3rd and 8. Down the middle. The throw is incomplete. And another punt coming up. Brandon Flowers, the redshirt freshman corner, had the coverage on Jason Lilly. And another punt coming up.
Mike, this is what makes some of these defenses that everybody wants to know who plays the best defense out there. When you have the kind of depth that Virginia Tech has, and your third cover guy can cover a slot receiver and give you man coverage, that's what allows a Texas, that's what allows an Alabama, a Virginia Tech, a Miami to have dominating defenses, is the third down defense matching up with the interior receivers.
Jimmy Williams was dancing off the edge. Now he's back covering the gunner. And the punt is away from Johnny Ayers. Chance to return for Eddie Royal from the 10. Looking to get to the line in the blockers, but he couldn't. A gain of 11. Francois Brochu from Quebec made the special teams tackle. Halfway through, first quarter, Vic and the Hokies back on offense.
ESPN College Game Day. It don't get any better than this. College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
This guy just went to 5 bowl games in 1 week. Of course, he forgot his sunscreen for the first 2 and lost his voice by the 4th game. The worst part of all, his girlfriend dumped him when he got back because he didn't tell her he was going in the first place. So tell me, was it worth it? Oh yeah! Enter to win Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour, and you and 3 friends could be headed to 5 bowl games in 1 week on a private jet. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. Who knows? This could be you.
The 2006 Saturn Ion. Get a new 2006 Saturn Ion starting at $12,490 MSRP with OnStar service standard for 1 year.
Love your everyday purchases with Love the Double from Chase. Love them because now they give you double rewards. Love the Double from Chase.
King is on fire, going deep with BK Chicken Fries. Grab the new all-white meat 12-piece and score a free medium fries and drink. Get in the game quick, the clock is ticking on this deal.
Buy House of Wax on DVD.
You're not gonna go in, are you?
In the House of Wax, it's not what you see that will scare you. It's what you don't see.
Please, somebody!
House of Wax. Buy it now on DVD.
You are a naughty boy.
Warning. The wearing of Tag body spray in collegiate settings may result in straight A's, but a complete misunderstanding of the French language. Comprende?
Introducing Tag body spray for guys. Consider yourself warned.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. And in part by Saturn.
To the hardy Virginia Tech fans, it's a perfect night. Temperature starting in the upper 40s. It'll dive down into the 30s before we're done. Marcus Vick's exploits keeps them warm. Matthias Kiwanuka and the Boston College defense trying to stop him after a good drive for a field goal first time around. Vick throws to Royal. And he makes the catch, out of bounds at the 33. That'll be a first down for the Hokies. Dewan Tribble escorted him out of bounds.
Mike, seeing Marcus Vick in person last week and watching him tonight, he just looks to be in sync earlier in this game and than any point that we saw him playing last week against Maryland. I know it's his second series, 3 for 4, but he just seems to be throwing the football with a lot more confidence here in his first few attempts.
Mike Emo, the lone back with 3 receivers. Vick adjusting the play. Here is Emo, gaping hole. Filled quickly by the BC linemen, by linebackers, but you saw the Tech offensive line push the Eagles off the ball on first down and a gain of 5.
Gain of 6 on the play.
Like what Marcus Vick is doing, and he's going to be given this opportunity for people at home. It's not just audibilizing. He's looking. He gives a hard count initially, tries to see what the defense is in. Now he knows. Now he's saying, hey, they're going to have 2 safeties high. I'm going to check to the run because we can pick up big yardage with our offensive line against their front 7.
The defensive line switches on 2nd and 5. Blitz gets to Vick late. The pass is hauled in by Josh Morgan. First down at the 43. The pressure came from the safety, Ryan Glasper. Too late, and Michael's little brother, yeah, it was high, but he hung in there for a gain of 18.
Michael's saying with the injuries right now to the Falcons, can I borrow Mr. Morgan down in Atlanta? But again, throwing the football on time, the pressure got there, but the ball was thrown on time. It was a great effort to be able to go up and make the catch by Morgan. But throwing the football on time at least gives your receiver a chance to make the catch.
And you notice with the safety blitz, it was the star defensive end Kiwanuka dropping back in the zone blitz concept to try to take over the lane, but a nice job by Vick to throw it over his head. From the 43, they've been good in the air, continuing with Josh Hyman. Gain of 8, 2nd and 2 coming up. Marcus Vick has only missed once in the passing game, 5 of 6 tonight, almost 100 yards already.
Now, what Marcus Vick has to be careful of throughout this game is if the Boston College coaches from upstairs start to recognize that, hey, when we have 7 in the box, he's checking at the line of scrimmage to a run. When we have 8 up, he's dropping to a 3-step quick drop and throwing the football, because then they'll start to disguise coverage, get him into an audible, and then switch into the other coverage and try to catch him off balance.
From the 35, they're moving it with ease, and Mike Emo for about 5 yards out of Fairfax, Virginia, listed at 5'7". I love the shot when you see Mike Emo right there or on his offensive lineman. It's like, here's the little brother. We just kind of move people out of the way so our guy can get his yards, and he does at a pretty good pace at 243 against North Carolina.
Virginia Tech has been spoiled, Mike, over the years at the tailback position. They've always seemed to have 2. And when Mike Emo and Cedric Humes are healthy, then you throw Brandon Orr, the 3rd redshirt freshman, into the mix. It gives him a lot of versatility and a lot of different looks in their running game.
On first down, Vick incomplete. Couldn't get himself set to throw it for Jeff King, the outstanding senior tight end who was a contributor on the basketball team last year.
Well, we're going to keep our eye on number 94, Kiwanuka. You've talked about this tonight, Mike, about the sprained MCL and what that does. He told us last night it's not so much that he's dealing with a lot of pain. It's that when he has to move from left to right, his knee is loose, and it causes him to slow down and not have nearly the acceleration. But he said, when I'm going straight ahead, I'm just as fast as I've always been. But if I have to make a move to my left or to my right, I lose all of my speed.
Always asked for the number. He said about 80% of health. Vick to Emo out of the backfield. Good spin move. He's still alive. He used the hand down for balance. Taken down past the first down marker. Virginia Tech back in the red zone.
We talked about the different looks that you get from Mike Emo and Cedric Humes and Brandon Orr. Mike Emo, because of his size and low center of gravity, is the quicker back. He's got great burst, and more importantly, he can catch the football out of the backfield. He shows you a little bit of his durability and also low center of gravity. It's tough to bring him down. You got to make sure you bring Mike Emo down, or he's going to get a hand down or get something down and continue upfield.
If he's 5'7", it's got to be a sub-low center of gravity. My goodness. First down, Vick on the edge. Throws incomplete for David Clowney, the junior wide receiver.
People want to say that Marcus Vick, Mike, is Michael Vick. Here's an example of how Marcus rather throw the football than run. He broke contain, and when he got to the outside of the linebacker, I was thinking he's going to take off. There's 10 yards if he wants it, but Marcus would rather throw the ball and take off and pick up the 10 yards. That's where they're different. Michael, if he would have been out there, goodbye. He's taking off.
What does your boy Corso say?
Hello, sweetheart.
Second down and 10, and Marcus did not like what he saw, so he will take a timeout. He has that trademark, you know. You can't steal that on him.
No, I'm not saying it. You asked me.
Excuse me. Virginia Tech timeout.
redesigned 2006 Saturn Vue. Get a new 2006 Saturn Vue starting at $17,990 MSRP with OnStar service standard for 1 year.
I'm in.
The Rose Bowl. New Year's Day, 100,000 fans will pack this place. Impressive number. Allstate has their own impressive number, 1 million. That's about how many drivers switched to Allstate last year, enough to fill 10 Rose Bowls. Why? Drivers who switched saved an average of $338 a year. Allstate's been helping drivers for over 70 seasons. They've got the knowledge and experience you can look to for help anytime, 24/7. More than just an 800 number. Real people with answers to real-world questions. All this at a price comparable to those so-called discount insurance companies. Now that calls for a parade.
Call 1-866-803-9500 and find out how much Allstate's knowledge and experience can help you save. You don't have to wait for your current policy to expire. Switch to Allstate and start saving right now.
Championship insurance for less. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
There's a game not on in your area, especially the ABC college football broadcast, then ESPN Game Plan is the way to do it. You can do it at ESPN.com as well. For example, if you're in the Midwest, you're going to see Oklahoma, Nebraska. Ohio State, Minnesota is a good game. Available there. If you're down here, ACC country, you have Florida State, Maryland on Saturday. Washington State, USC available on Game Plan. Check it out, ESPN.com for more. Out of the timeout, Marcus Vick. Designed run, flag down as Marcus is down at the 12-yard line. It came in the spot where holding is usually called.
Well, on the play, it's going to be called back, but on the play, that time they said, Marcus, you know what? You're going to get outside, and you're going to run.
If you're not going to run it, we're going to make you run it.
Right. Quarterback sweep, break.
But that might be one of those plays you call just to put it in his mind.
Right.
You can run, you know, and we'd like you to a little bit. I think he likes throwing the ball, to be very honest with you, before taking off and running.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of just he's trying to prove anything. He's just more comfortable and enjoys throwing the ball. And to be honest, Mike, I think as a college player, Marcus is much further ahead of Michael when it comes to a touch on the ball, seeing a defense, making the right read, and having a touch, just being able to put it in there and put it on the money into the receiver. Michael in college threw about a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, whether you were 20 yards downfield or 5 yards downfield. Marcus has developed a touch very earlier in his career.
As a thrower, Michael was a closer, and Marcus is a starter. Right. Here comes Cedric Hughes. Out of the gun, they try to run. Boston College has been wise to the run when it's happened. That's the 5th time they've tried to run it. And Ricky Brown out of Elder High School in Cincinnati comes up with a tackle. When we talk about Boston College and hometowns, you're going to see a bunch of Ohio and Indianapolis guys. Tom O'Brien went to St. X, one of the best high school football products or programs in the Ohio area, and they bring in a ton.
Well,
what do you gesture at?
That's Greater Cincinnati, Greater Catholic League in Cincinnati. Tom O'Brien playing for the Bombers of St. X. He knows how to recognize talent. He goes down to Southwest Ohio and he brings them up to Chestnut Hill.
Third.
You just set me up for that.
I know.
It was a layup.
They need to get to the 9 to keep the drive alive, and Vick throws complete but shy of the first down for his big tight end, Jeff King. So BC had that zone. King was in the spot, but it's made it a much more reasonable field goal. Instead of 47 yards, this one should be about 32.
Mike, the Boston College defense has been on the field a lot, and they've given up some yards, but the first 2 drives of this game, they've given up some big plays, they've gotten into the red zone, and they've made the play that they have to force the field goal and not allow this crowd and Virginia Tech to get up by 14 or 10 points.
Good from 26 before. Brandon Pace, good from 32, and it is 6-0 for the Hokies. So Pace, who had the 1 miss as the clock was running last week, able to bang it through there and make it 6-0. Well, we've seen a lot of the good of Marcus Vick so far. 7 of 10, 122 yards. He so desperately wants to be slightly out of the shadow of Michael Vick to allow everyone to form their own opinion of him. And the problem is there is no escaping it. And I think he knew it by coming here to Virginia Tech, that he was going to be compared to his brother every single thing he did on and off the field.
Well, you and I have talked about this before. No matter where Marcus Vick was going to go to school, he could have gone to Tennessee, he could have gone to anywhere. His last name is going to be Vick, and he's going to be compared. But by coming to Blacksburg, wearing the same uniform, he changed the number, but he's playing the same position. And Michael Vick is every Sunday doing things that create attention still. So it's not just his legacy here, it's that he still is playing so well. And it's fun to watch these two. I think Marcus has a great future ahead of him, but I think he just has to continue. This is his 8th career start.
That's the point.
Eighth career start. People need to remember that when they put so much on Marcus Vick and want him to be Michael. Remember, tonight's his 8th career start.
And of course, he was here as a true freshman and redshirted. As a redshirt freshman, he played some wide receiver in addition to a few snaps at quarterback when Brian Randall led the team. Then his sophomore year was lost because Marcus Vick was suspended for a couple of arrests and other incidents off campus, and the university had to suspend him. He was suspended from all athletic activities and what was going on here with the football program. Went to live with his brother Michael for a good part of that. Trained, watched film with Michael, has now come back, accepted by his teammates, thriving thus far with an undefeated team. Will Blackman, good kickoff return last time, covered well down to the 20. And here's Aaron with Michael Vick. Aaron?
All right, guys, thanks. Michael, we do have a shot of you kind of yelling at Marcus as he was talking out there. What were you saying to your brother?
Oh, no, I just wanted to tell him to keep his poise and not get too wrapped up into the game. You know, to stay under control and play his game, because that's what's important.
A lot of people wonder, what is the difference between Michael and Marcus as the quarterback? In your eyes, what is the difference?
It's really no difference. We're both competitive. You know, we both love the game of football. But at the same time, you know, Marcus sit in the pocket and he'll wait for his second and third receivers to open up a little quicker. I feel like I do the same thing, but you know, he's just a little more patient. You know, I grew up running the ball way more than he did in the backyard, so I guess it rubbed off on me a little more than it did on him.
So you don't think you're patient?
Yeah, I'm patient at times when I need to be.
You know, Marcus had told us you were the father figure for him during his suspension. What do you think was the biggest lesson you were trying to get through to him during that time?
You know, this for him to understand how important the game really was to him, how important it was to me and our family. And, you know, what he was going to miss out on if he continued to make the mistakes that he was making. And he understood that. He realized, you know, his situation and how he could help his situation get better. And, you know, he just sat back and came to my game, you know, came and watched me every week. And I think he missed the game of football a little bit, and I think that helped him out a lot.
You did a good job. Thanks. Good luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Mike.
Thank you, Aaron. The Atlanta Falcons 4-2 on this season. Michaels missed a game with injury. Matt Schaub, the former Virginia quarterback, came in and played.
Don't be fooled by his smooth look. He is a tough big brother. That's what I got in talking with Michael and talking with Marcus about the situation. He puts a lot of heat still to this day on Marcus Vick. If he does some things that he doesn't think are right, Michael lets him know about it.
Porter's high throw is incomplete. There was a penalty and then a first down play. The down marker on the far side is wrong. It says first down. It should say now third down. And they've just changed it to second down. The down marker at the far side 20-yard line says second down. They've just changed it now to third to correct it. 3rd and 10, 1 penalty, 1 completion of 5 to Blackman, then the incompletion. Hokies looking for back-to-back 3-and-outs. Eagle offense struggling, 14 plays, 45 yards. And Brenda's youngest son might get the ball back here pretty quick. Pressured by Tapp, forcing the throw to be incomplete. Darryl Tapp came off the edge, one-on-one, beat the tackle, got right in the feet of quarterback Quentin Porter to force another punt.
Well, Mike, it's tough. It was actually Whitworth, the running back, who slid to the outside. You imagine this? You duck your head and hope, because that's one of the most powerful, one of the quickest defensive ends rushing a quarterback this year in the country. And they had Whitworth, the tailback, stepping in to try to make the block. That's a lot of very tough on a running back.
Impossible.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. That's why I thought it was the tackle.
I'm guessing that the tackle forgot to kick out to help him.
Johnny Ayers, third punt. This one is best. It travels 45 yards. Here's Royal from the 35. Makes one man miss, has an umbrella of Eagles waiting to tackle him at about the 42. Ricky Brown, the starting linebacker, made the tackle. 2:18 left. And Kirk, the question now for Boston College, how do you slow down this Virginia Tech offense that's averaging about 9 yards per play in the first quarter?
Well, the one thing they have shown is some resiliency. They've given up some big plays, but they have buckled down inside the red zone. And that might be part of the package tonight. Guys, let's bend but don't break. We know we're going to give up some plays against this offense, and with the way Vic can hurt you running and throwing. Let's just not give up the big play, and then let's tighten up in the red zone. So far, their defense is keeping them in this game.
Good field position here. Drive start at the 42. Cedric Humes cuts it back. About 5 to the 47. 2nd and 5 coming up as we get under 2 minutes here in the opening quarter.
The other thing to think about as you watch this game is right now I'm not getting a great feel from Boston College's offense at being able to create a big play. Virginia Tech has everybody at about 10 yards. They're not respecting any kind of vertical threat. So with that in mind, Boston College, the defense needs to create a turnover, something that's been a problem for them this year. They've only created 8 turnovers in the entire year. They're going to have to create turnovers to give their offense a short field at some point tonight.
Humes bouncing to the outside, has the edge. Cedric Humes delivers the blow to the 37-yard line. And as he delivered the blow, Larry Amon, the backup defensive back, took the worst of it and was shaken up. He's down on the BC sideline.
Well, Mike Humes shows you some power and being able to get away from Morris, who had a pretty clean shot at him but could not come up with the play. But some great blocks downfield by Virginia Tech. Jeff King did a nice job of sealing it. And then downfield, Justin Harper. Watch Justin King to the side, the tight end. Jeff King, rather. Watch the block that he makes. Now, once Humes gets to the outside, look right there. Look at the block that the receivers, Justin Harper, makes to spring Humes loose. That's the one thing you're going to see. Big block right there. You're going to see Virginia Tech. Their wide receivers are going to be very physical and attack the secondary, whether they're running routes or whether they're coming up with blocks.
And the game stopped here momentarily. As I mentioned, Humes ran through Larry Anam. And that's why we have the injury timeout on the field, because where Larry is right over at about the 35-yard line, parallel to the line of scrimmage. And you see he's injured, so they'll help him over, get him out of harm's way. And Aaron has more on the man who carried the ball, Cedric Humes.
That's right. Of course, as you mentioned, Cedric Humes with that broken right forearm. How can he play? Well, this is what his arm would look like. Here's that plate that's holding it in with the 8 screws. Now, as we talked to Virginia Tech's trainer, Mike Goforth, they said they needed a plate to protect that arm, and this is what they're using. But they talked to the engineering school here at Virginia Tech, because normally these plates are used on your ankles or on your legs. They needed something that wouldn't break, that would cover that plate in his arm. So they actually talked to the engineering school, and they got something made out of carbon fiber. That's what Cedric Humes is using right now. The biggest thing is he's got a sleeve covering that plate. They were worried about him fumbling, guys.
Vic is sacked as the play action with Humes didn't work, and Jasmine Williams off the corner came in to make the first negative play for that BC defense here tonight. To amplify Aaron's point, you saw the Humes, there he is, on his right arm after he broke the arm against Marshall. What's interesting is Aaron showed you the plastic support. It covers just the top half instead of that full tunnel effect. Now it allows him to get the ball up against his body without the pad being there. So there's the full protection of the plate put in the arm and that protection that the engineering school helped design to make it the safest not to fumble. Marcus Vick tries the middle of the field, and watching him was John Dunbar, the sophomore out of Corcoran High School in Syracuse. He made the tackle that forces 3rd down.
Humes can also squeeze the ball much easier, not only press it against his body, but also squeeze it. And I think by the time he's in the game, I think he's forgotten about it. I think it's that nice a system. But tell you what, you asked me, what does Boston College have to do? I've been really impressed with these guys. I mean, they're going up against a dynamic offense. I mean, they can run, they can throw. Boston College holding their own, considering they've given up some big plays. They're okay.
With 3rd and long to start the second quarter, the Hokies lead 6-0 after 1.
Singular customers text CITY to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Mambo Italiano, you must go. 'Cause something tasty's going on. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Now that Yellow Book is coast to coast, we thought about branching out. Yellow Book Cola looked very good. Fly Yellow Book Air. Fast food. Tasty. Wow, theme parks. The Yellow Book brand would be cool on lots of great stuff. The possibilities are endless. Coffee houses. Skateboards. Why not Yellow Book toothpaste? Maybe we should stick to what we do best. Great directories. Yellowbook.com and Yellow Book, not the other book. 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
Protect this house.
You beat the big guys every year. You know they can't touch you. They know they can't touch you. How does the team stay motivated?
If you don't get motivated when you put on the armor, then you ain't got a pulse, man.
It's 4th down. The ball sits at the Under Armour 10-yard line. Goliath down to its last shot.
We must protect this house.
Prove you're the best of the battlefield and take home $250,000. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. Rated T for teen.
Void in a number of states and where prohibited. For eligibility requirements and complete tournament rules, go to battlefield.ea.com.
I can be soft sometimes, dramatic other times, thrifty all the time.
You can at the Home Depot. Walk through our lighting and ceiling fan showroom. You'll find an endless selection of unique designs by Hampton Bay, as well as the know-how to make your new look come together. And with 20 to 30% off select styles, now is the time to shed a new light on your decor.
At the Home Depot, you can do it, we can help.
Turn off the Ambilight function on your Philips Flat TV, and it's like going back in time. The only flat TV with Ambilight from Philips. You'll never go back to ordinary TV.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Mambo Italiano, you must go. 'Cause something tasty's going on. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Frank Spaziani, the defensive coordinator for Boston College, who has been here the whole Tom O'Brien run, 9 years. High-intensity guy. Really, his players enjoy playing for him. His energy is apparent in this team, and he's trying to tell his guys, you kind of held the thing pretty good here through the first quarter. 6 points, considering Virginia Tech has had the ball the majority of the quarter and is moving it well. The second begins with 3rd and 16. BC backs out. They rush 4 as Vic has time to throw it downfield, incomplete. Boston College does a nice job with their zone defense and forces a punt.
Mike, you touched on Frank Spaziani, the defensive coordinator. And that time, because they've caught some breaks, they've gotten to the red zone, but that series, the corner blitz, which is a little bit out of character, but the corner blitz that they brought set up the 2nd and long and then 3rd and long and got their defense off the field, which was a great call by Frank Spaziani.
The 273-pound punter, Nick Schmidt, set to boom it. Trying to pin BC back inside of its 10. It's hard to ask a 273-pounder to kick it with touch.
Yeah, no, there's no such thing.
A net of 23.
He just needs forearm pads.
30 and 30. Here's Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Mike, the Broncos' Dwayne Carswell, the offensive lineman, former tight end, is in critical but stable condition. He was injured in a car crash, suffered a ruptured spleen that had to be removed. Prognosis for recovery is excellent, but he is out for the season. Grant Hill's latest injury, a sports hernia. He'll need surgery. It'll keep him on the shelf for 3 to 6 weeks. The latest in the obstacles that Grant Hill has faced. NBA season starts next week. Sports Center comes up after the game. ESPN News is your constant companion, Mike.
Thank you, Reese. First down run by Colander takes it across the 30-yard line. There's a good start for BC. NBA preseason doubleheader tomorrow night on ESPN. Knicks and the Nets.
All right.
NBA Premier Week comes your way next week.
NBA season ended just about a month ago, right?
It did not. I've been with you for 4 months.
Cranking it back up. Here we go.
Quentin Porter, who has graduated, the senior out of Maine, again using the quick counts, and no gain on that run. One more time with the sophomore out of New Jersey, Colander.
You may wonder why he is going with a lot of the quick counts, especially on early downs. It's just to try to create a little bit of a tempo for his own offense. They're dealing with a hostile crowd. He wants to get his guys up to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball. The other thing I found interesting is they're not worrying about audibilizing whatsoever. Whatever the play is, you look at it. Even if the defense adjusts, you have to adjust as an offense.
2nd and 9, and here is Porter. One of those underneath crossing routes again to Will Blackman, just a yard shy of the first down. We'll have third, well, depending on the spot, they might get it. Very generous spot there as Blackman brings one in. 28 catches coming into this game, and he's the guy who has the biggest deep threat on Boston College. 11 20-plus yard plays, which is good for 4th best in the ACC in that category.
Well, they decided to move Will Blackman over from corner to receiver for just that, Mike. They needed the big play threat on the perimeter to try to make defenses respect that aspect of their offense. And I think it's helped them. It's helped them not only in throwing the football, boy, they are just an inch away. Not only in throwing the football for big plays, but it's taken a little bit of pressure off of their running game and allowed them to find more seams in there just because of that threat of the vertical pass. And tonight, Mike, at some point, Will Blackman's going to have to make a play to slow down this Virginia Tech defense and to push them back away from 8 to 10 yards to the line of scrimmage.
One thing in the build-up to this game, it's speed of Virginia Tech against power. Boston College has a huge offensive line, and they're going to bring in one of their best weapons in short yardage. Brian Toll, number 16, their starting linebacker, one of their top tacklers, 3rd top tackler, as a matter of fact. He's come in 20 times in short yardage situation. 6 touchdowns, 9 first downs. But Porter keeps it, and he ends up getting the first down. And Toll, let me hit somebody. I'm a defensive player. I'm not coming out here to do nothing.
Now the referee's telling him, come on, 1-6. Don't come out here with that defensive mentality. Everything's just going fine. He comes out and quarterback sneak. Coach, I'm still going to hit James Anderson if I get a chance. Just let me, even though I have nothing to do here, when in doubt, first down, okay, here you go.
There's the defensive coordinator was the one that patted him when he came. Fumble, Colander lost it. Porter got it back. Good job by Quentin Porter not giving up on the play after he handed it off to save a possession.
Mike, this is what makes it so tough tonight for Boston College. If they can't come up with a big play from Will Blackman or one of their other receivers or a tailback, if he's unable to hit a big one, they're basically saying, we've got to drive 80 yards, and we're going to have to do it in 12 to 15 plays. Against Virginia Tech's opportunistic defense, that's a tall task and a tough thing to accomplish throughout this entire night.
Darryl Tapp had already forced 2 fumbles this season before that one. 2nd and about 16. Screen to L.V. Whitworth. Room to run across midfield, deep to the secondary. And Whitworth gets it to the 30. A big pickup of 33 yards. Nice play call there.
Well, we saw Ralph Friesian in Maryland. We talked about this last week. How do you try to attack an aggressive defense, and a defense that's over-pursuing and very excited, especially in a 2nd and 3rd and long kind of situation? A screen set up perfectly against the blitz, and you can see Whitworth, when he gets to the outside, that's the big play of ability that Boston College is going to have.
On first down, a run to the left side, gains just a couple of yards that time. Collender came back in. Xavier Adibi, number 3 tackler on this team, made the stop again. This is the toughest defense to score on in the country. Virginia Tech in 7 games has given up 7 touchdowns, 2 of them coming in deep garbage time in the 4th quarter.
But this is the best offense up to this point they have faced the entire season.
Ty Hall in there, right tackle, as Sherrills is out. The deep ball by Porter for Blackman, who caught it for the touchdown. Jimmy Williams, the best cover corner, was there. He got turned around, and he got beaten. And Boston College is an extra point away from the lead.
Mike, this is why you see quarterbacks sometimes, even when a receiver is covered, throwing the ball back and forcing the receiver because he knows where the football is to come back. Jimmy Williams couldn't find the football. Blackman does a nice job of locating the football, and a great throw by Porter to bring his receiver back. You might say, oh, bad throw. No, that's something you work on in practice. Allow your receiver to adjust to the ball when the corner cannot find it. And he just beat what a lot of people feel is the best corner this year in college football.
Boston College handled the big hit, hung around, hits the big play, and takes the lead.
This Rose Bowl moment is brought to you by Citi. In the 1975 Rose Bowl, USC trailed Ohio State by 7 late in the 4th quarter. USC quarterback Pat Hayden's touchdown pass to John McKay brought the Trojans to within 1. Needing only an extra point to tie, USC gambled and went for the 2-point conversion. The gamble paid off as the successful conversion gave USC the victory over the Buckeyes and their 6th national title.
No, I'm just online paying the credit card bill.
What?
No, I'll be home soon.
We don't want a late fee. Honey, I told you we can't.
I saw this before.
That's the last one, man. Let's go.
Sometimes you can't help paying late. Avoid late fees with the new Citi Simplicity Card. No late fees when you make a purchase each billing period. Citi. Live richly.
Together they stand, poised for action. Anywhere, anytime. Even your next football party. The Coors Light Gridiron Cooler Box. 18 16-ounce bottles that hold the same amount of beer as a case. And those big bottles are clad in plastic, so the Coors Light inside stays Rocky Mountain cold. Just ice it up, take it out, and enjoy. The Coors Light Gridiron Cooler Box. Ready to go, ready to play.
Hello, friend. You don't need to own music to have music. To love it. 1.5 million songs. Unlimited access. Own nothing. Have everything. Join us.
Master. Here's me when my sinuses act up. Pain. Pressure. Meat. Sinus boy. I need Dayquil Sinus. The daytime non-drowsy sinus relief. Ah, that's better. Dayquil Sinus. My hero.
What started me in my work? And I was determined to test the fabric of human nature. I've never murdered anyone. The decisions are up to them.
He's testing us.
Who's testing us?
Jigsaw. He's a serial killer. We have to play by the rules.
I'm gonna get out of here.
It's not a good idea.
Those who don't appreciate life do not deserve life. Do you appreciate yours?
Saw 2. Rated R. In theaters everywhere tomorrow.
I believe you have to go back to the first game against North Carolina State to find Virginia Tech trailing this season. 7-6, Boston College on top. Quentin Porter hit all 3 on that drive, and Kirk on the screen pass and then the touchdown pass. They have half the yards they have on the other 21 plays tonight. But it was enough to give them the lead.
We talked about they're at some point going to have to make some big plays with the pass game. They hung in there. Their defense made the plays, forced the field goals, and eventually Dana Bible, the offensive coordinator, made the calls. Porter executed, and Blackman comes up with a touchdown.
Ryan Oliger, who lost the place-kicking job, still kicks off. Didn't hit a good one. And Eddie Royal dancing, returning. There are BC players for contain on that side. And a very nice job by Kevin Akins, a backup free safety, to stay in his lane. Out of bounds at the 35. Herbie takes you back to the touch.
Well, we talked about how the ball was thrown back. And it's just great to see Blackman. Remember, he's a cornerback last year, adjusting to the football, coming back to the ball. And Jimmy Williams, as we said, one of the better corners this year in the country, disgusted with himself because he looks forward to this opportunity on Thursday night for some one-on-one opportunities. And very few people have gone after Jimmy Williams this year. Will Blackman of Boston College says, we're going right after the All-American.
So Marcus Vick and the Hokies take over from the 35. Mike Emo tries the left side. And the linebacker Ray Henderson there to start the stop after a pickup of about 3 yards. Henderson joined by Jerry Willett, the defensive end. Thias Kiwanuka, the outstanding defensive end for Boston College, who, from our observations, played most of the entire first quarter sitting out. Remember, he didn't come back to practice until Monday of this past week. BC, when you go back, he was injured in the game against Virginia. The next Saturday they played Wake Forest, and then 12 days off since then. So more asked of Keith Willis on the defensive end. As Vick throws complete to Josh Hyman. Brought down after a first down at the 46-yard line.
Like when we talked about weathering the storm, survived the early part of the game. That's what, look at, I mean, the crowd's going to eventually get back into the game, but BC survived the initial surge here, and they've given themselves a chance now to take the crowd out of the game a bit. Now their defense has to come back and answer what their own offense did.
You know, I'd be worried about 9. Larry Anam, remember we saw him hurt on that play on the last drive. He's out there, was in on the tackle, but he's limping a little bit. So be careful for that safety for Boston College. From the 46, Mike Emo. Stiff arms Anam, sent him to the ground. Gain of 8. Virginia Tech side wants a flag. Not forthcoming. It's given 9 officially. 2nd and 1.
They're going to get Anam out of the game. And, you know, not only the injury, but he just took a stiff arm from Mike Emo. And you might say, well, Anam's hurt. It's easy to stiff arm him. No, I don't buy that. I think this is just the strength and what you see from Mike Emo and the kind of back that he is. He's not afraid. He's not just a scat back. He'll throw his shoulder into you, or he'll throw a stiff arm at you in a hurry.
Back in Boston College territory, Virginia Tech spent about half of the half on the Eagles side of the world. One more time with Emo. Could not crease it, couldn't get through there as Henderson was pursuing to make the tackle along with Ricky Brown, his fellow linebacker. But another first down picked up by the senior out of Fairfax, Virginia.
Marcus Vick right now doing a nice job of managing the offense and just getting into the right play. Sounds like a simple thing, but for a guy making his 8th start, pressure the world on him. Everybody wants to see him run for big yards, throw for big yards. I just want to see him manage the offense, which right now he's doing a good job. A lot of the checks, a lot of the things that they're asking of him, he's doing a good job with.
One more time, Emo to the right side. He'll just go out of bounds after picking up 5 first down yards. There are a lot of weapons in this Virginia Tech team around the big star grabbers, both Vicks, as they've come in. Brian Randall, ACC Player of the Year last year. By the way, there have been a lot of good running backs, wide receivers, defensive backs, defensive linemen. Maybe not all superstars in the NFL level. There's been a ton of talent come through Blacksburg in the last decade. Jeff King, that tight end, is one of them. The senior, lined up closest to you. Stays into block as Vick just takes a piece of candy to Josh Hyman. 7 yards, first down at 29.
Mike, you've been seeing Marcus Vick checking quite a bit to run plays. And this time he decides to take advantage of Jasmine Williams, the corner, who is very soft. Look at the cushion right here that Marcus Vick is going to take advantage of. 2nd and 5, no problem. Pitch and catch, pick up the first down, move the sticks, set up for 1st and 10. Little things like that are how you evaluate a quarterback. It's not just a spectacular play, it's doing the little things.
Now 2 tight ends and 1 back. So a bunch of guys to block for Emo. Just looks for the hole, hides behind them, and gains 4. Well, as you know, Virginia Tech is one of the 6 unbeatens in Division 1A. 7th 7-0 start in school history, and they've done it with regularity here over the last few years. We mentioned their top defense. What they've accomplished has been good, beating North Carolina State, Duke, Ohio, Georgia Tech, West Virginia, Marshall, and Maryland. This is a big one. Number 6 Miami comes in here next week at Virginia and North Carolina to wrap up the regular season. Matthias Kiwanuka checks back into the BC lineup. A lot of Mike Emo on this drive. A lot of chain movement. We'll have 3rd and 2 coming up. DeJuan Tribble, the sophomore out of Cincinnati, came off the corner to make the play with B.J. Raji, the sophomore defensive lineman.
Yeah, Mike, it's 7-0. People want to get into the argument about the BCS and is Virginia Tech worthy, and are they going to pass over a USC or a Texas down the road? We're going to find out a lot more about Virginia Tech and where they truly stand when it comes to the games that they have. And not only Boston College, you touched on Miami, they still have to go to Virginia, and they're more than likely going to play Boston College or Florida State, possibly in the ACC title. They're going to play a lot tougher schedule in the coming weeks.
3rd and 2. Right back to Emo, got a full back block to get the first down at the 18-yard line. Jesse Allen, a former walk-on who earned his scholarship this year, led the way for Emo to keep the drive alive.
Nice block by Allen, but also Jason Murphy coming around on a kick-out block, number 72. Nice block there by the fullback. Guard comes around and leads the way. And Jason Murphy, it was fun talking with him yesterday with our meeting, has kind of brought that defensive mentality over to the offensive line.
8th carry of the drive for Emo. He ran right into the house that is B.J. Raji at 6'1", 337 pounds. A true freshman. He defines taking up space. But he does more than that. He can make plays as well.
They have. I think that's what's helped Boston College to have such a great year. Kiwanuka gets so much credit, the big defensive end. There's going to be a pick in the NFL draft. But the rest of their defensive line, if there's been any aspect of their defense, it's been surprising. It's been the production of their tackles and the end on the other side, Nick Larkin.
See if Tech goes to the air here on 2nd and 7. Eddie Royal to the top of your screen. And Josh Hyman at the bottom, 19. Timeout for the 2nd time here in this first half by Marcus Vick and the Hokie offense. 2nd down at the BC 15. Virginia Tech back in the red zone. They've struggled in there the last couple of weeks.
ESPN College Game Day.
It don't get any better than this.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
Grilling. Good call. You mean steak? You rock. Hey.
Hey, Grill Master.
I don't have a grill.
Introducing Taco Bell's new Steak or Chicken Nachos Bel Grande. Grilled authentic carne asada steak or marinated all white meat chicken give Nachos Bel Grande that great flavor of the grill.
Wait, hey, what's up?
For grilled taste that really draws a crowd, think outside the bun.
This month, I will rack up a massive cell phone bill talking about absolutely nothing.
When my parents open next month's cell phone bill, they will cry.
My calls will be monitored like a felon's.
My dad's patience with my cell phone bill will run out at a socially crippling time.
Don't get schooled in wireless. Get GoPhone. Pay as you go with cash or pick your plan with debit or credit. GoPhone comes with everything but a surprise bill.
I will be grounded several times this year, but not because of my GoPhone.
Only from Singular, raising the bar.
You're on a mission to get an amazing new TV this year, but you want to be absolutely sure you pick the right one. Circuit City makes it simple. That's because we've got thousands of online customer reviews that rate the hot new stuff. plus expert advice in our stores. And right now, get no interest till January 2007 on all TVs and home audio $299 and up at Circuit City.
Te noto un poquito nerviosa.
The bankers of J.P. Morgan Chase work with thousands of businesses. We give them advice, encouragement, support, and $50 billion in commercial loans. So for us, the Aragon Ballroom is much more than the hottest spot in Chicago. It's entrepreneurship and beautiful music to our ears. J.P. Morgan Chase.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And Singular, raising the bar.
Some of the greats honored in the football complex here at Virginia Tech. Michael Vick Hall, part of his donation back. See that picture of Lane Stadium? Notice the end zones there? They're both kind of empty. Looks just like these two big things that come out of the ground. Now, this place is enclosed, and it's louder, and it's beautiful. What a job they've done building around their success. Out of their second time out of the first half, 2nd down and 7 for Marcus Vick. Come back with the same formation, the same personnel, and they run Eddie Royal, who has 2 blockers. He's got the 10, he's got the 5, he's got a touchdown. Pace comes on to add the extra point. 13-7. Eddie Royal, whose brother Chris is a defensive back at Marshall, and they played and hooked up on ESPN earlier this year. And his sister has a prominent place here at Virginia Tech as well. This time the little brother takes it to the end zone.
Can I go out with your sister? No. How about now?
Surrender to the mesmerizing taste of Wendy's Bacon Mushroom Melt.
Okay.
A big bacon cheeseburger made fresh, smothered in mushrooms and a creamy, dreamy cheddar cheese sauce.
You want to go out sometime? Ew. How about now?
Do Wendy's. Do what tastes right.
The Denny's PBA Tour begins Sunday at 1 on ESPN.
Now you can get in great shape, build muscle, and you can do it fast. All you have to do is dial it up. Turn up the results with the Bowflex Select Tech free weight system. Now you can dial up the weight you want, anywhere from 5 to 52.5 pounds on one single dumbbell. Want 15 pounds? Just turn the dial to 15 and start lifting. Ready for 40? All it takes is the turn of a dial. Now you can get powerful biceps, a sexy core, even chiseled legs in an easy 30-minute workout. Call now to order your Bowflex Select Tech free weight system for no money down and payments as low as $5 a month. Order now and we'll include this free DVD, Secrets of the 4-Step Rep, that teaches you perfect free weight techniques. It's time to turn up your results. Call and get your Bowflex Select Tech for just $5 a month today.
Well, some strength in blocking downfield by the tight end, John Kinzer. The wide receiver, Josh Hyman, helped free the way for Eddie Royal. That was just a good old-fashioned drive. 10 plays, none more than 9 yards until the 11th. That has given Virginia Tech a 13-7 lead. Kirk's going to show us how that play worked. After the kickoff, by Jared DeVelli. Now booming him into the end zone tonight. Blackman returns from the 6. And he's brought down at the 24-yard line. Back to the score by Royal.
Eddie Royal's about as laid back as they come. What I liked here is Marcus Vick, who's been doing so many checks. This time does, I think, what would be called a fake audible. The play is called. The fullback's going to lead around. But I think the defense may have been caught thinking that it's going to be another 3-step drop and that they're going to run the football with Mike Emo. Nice call by Brian Steinspring. That's why you come out with a play after a timeout. You get what you need. You go with it. You score the touchdown.
Nowhere to run for Whitworth. Chris Ellis makes the tackle. With second down coming up. Now, before we leave the touchdown scored by Royal, I mentioned his brother Chris is a defensive back at Marshall. Had 6 interceptions last year. And Royal this year went head-to-head with his brother when Virginia Tech beat Marshall 41-14. His sister, Christina, a regimental commanding officer for the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets, does a nice Royal family get-together after the game here earlier this year. 2 brothers and the sister, a very proud family as well, and all a chance to cheer there. Again, it's Whitworth. He barely gets back to the original line. Before third down, Aaron has more on the Royal family.
And Mike, I know you can add more to this. We had a kind of a fun experience yesterday. Their mother, Eddie Royal's mother, Pearl, showed up during our meeting. She was on her way to Marshall to visit his brother Chris, just to stop in, check in, see how he's doing. 6.5-hour drive, and she drove back today another 3.5 hours to come to the game tonight. She said she just wanted to check up on her boys, Mother Pearl.
It was a pretty neat scene with her. Third down, her son may get a chance to punt return. Because Boston College will go 3 and out again. Ball comes out, late hit. Brown caused the fumble, and the player was down. So no flag, no fumble. And I think we're going to see number 4, Eddie Royal, go back to return a punt now. Third 3 and out for Boston College in their last 5 drives.
Mike, you're starting to get that feeling right now with Virginia Tech, how they play at home and what can happen when you face this kind of adversity, and how this defense and how the special teams can start to feed off of the enthusiasm.
Everybody focuses on the block. Sometimes they come up with a big return. Here's the punt by Ayers. Great kick. Sent Royal back to the 21. And brought down after a return of 10 to the 31-yard line. The kick was 55. The net 45. Jalon Dunbar made the tackle. We're in Blacksburg, southwest part of Virginia. Nice cool night, temperature diving through the 40s. As we have the best matchup of ranked teams this week, 13 visiting 3. Virginia Tech actually trailed earlier in this second quarter. And the standings in the ACC, the Dr. Pepper ACC standings, show Boston College behind Florida State by a half game in the Atlantic Division, with the Seminoles already having a head-to-head win over BC. We'll show you the other side, the Coastal, where Virginia Tech resides, after 1st and 10 from the 31. See, a little movement was called there on the Hokies, so they'll move back 5 yards. And Keith Willis was good at bringing that to their attention.
Cross to the snap. False start, 52, offense.
All right, here are the standings over in the Coastal. The 2 top-ranked teams, number 3 Virginia Tech, number 6 Miami, sit there. That's the matchup on ESPN in prime time next Saturday night from right here in Blacksburg. You look back to North Carolina, still on the Virginia Tech schedule, although not mentioned in this run that they have left. Then Georgia Tech, Virginia, and time to roll out the basketballs in Durham. As the Blue Devils try to get it turned around under a good coach in Ted Roof, who's got a lot of building to do and getting some young players some experience. Brandon Orr, speaking of young players, the freshman running back, gains the penalty yardage back on first down. That extra push, you're going to call on the officials to be careful. They've let 2 late hits go, and the next one, somebody should get flagged to keep the game in check.
Well, Brian Toll better be very careful, whether Jimmy Martin had that coming or not. Brian Toll took a swing. He's very, very lucky that he didn't get called for that. Jimmy Martin and Brian Toll both have been going back and forth here. This is after the whistle. You really can't see how hard he came through. with a right cross, and he did not make contact, but he did take a swing.
2nd and 8. Not much room to run that time as Keith Willis, the redshirt freshman, led the defensive charge for the Eagle front line. They're playing with some attitude.
Well, they have to, Mike. This is a huge part of the game for Boston College. I hate to keep saying that the pressure's on the BC defense, but these guys have got to continue to make the plays, continue to give their offense a chance, and now they're putting Marcus Vick into a 3rd and long situation. Kiwanuka is coming back in. They've got to get pressure on Marcus Vick right here.
And what I'm seeing here is they're trying to use Kiwanuka in spots, especially in the pass rushing downs. And here he is on 3rd and 10. He's going to be the defensive lineman closest to you in the 3-man front. Tries the inside rush. Pressure coming from that side. Beautiful job by Vick to stay in there and throw it to Josh Hyman at the 46. 1st down, gain of 15. That was a good play.
Yep. Great play. They went with 3 down linemen, Mike. Kiwanuka was matched up down to the end. They brought an outside linebacker blitz and then also brought a corner blitz, but they picked it up perfectly. They played zone behind it, and that is a nice throw and a very nice catch that time by Hyman. If you bring the pressure, you better get the heat to Marcus Vick.
On 1st down, stumbling through the hole, pushing the pile forward is Brandon Orr. Gain of 9. Let's check in with Reese in the studio.
All right, Mike, coming up on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report, Mark May alongside, seeing a great performance from Marcus Vick. We'll show you exactly how he got to this point, talk about Fisher DeBerry's comments and what comes next, and give you the Pontiac game-changing performance.
And I'll tell you how I think Marcus Vick measured up to some of the top quarterbacks in the country.
By height?
By height, yes, Reese, by height. He's 6 foot tall.
He stands very tall, taller than the 6 feet listed in the program, Mike.
It is a tall task to measure to as well, with the legacy left behind by number 7. You know, there are running backs who have come through here and done a very good job. Kevin Jones of recent ilk, but in the future, Brandon Orr's name might be added to that list. Sharon Stith, among others, or most of this drive comes off after getting the 1st down.
We get so caught up in Cedric Humes, a senior, Mike Emo, a senior, Brandon Orr. When we bring up Brandon Orr to these offensive coaches, even Frank Beamer, they get their eyes light up. They're trying so hard to hold back from their excitement because he's only a redshirt freshman. But he's got a big future here in Blacksburg.
From the 42, Marcus just throws it to the sideline for his tight end. King made a man miss. Gets 9 yards. Inside of 2 minutes, Virginia Tech goes toward that quicker paced offense. And Vick is now 11 of 15 passing here tonight.
With so many great tight ends, at times Jeff King gets overlooked because he doesn't have the dominating athletic ability, but he does have nice speed, and he also has power. He's able to pull away from tackles. He has a look to me that he's going to play for a long time in the NFL. He's going to set up camp somewhere and make somebody very happy for a long, long time. Very smart player, too.
Good tight end here. Really good tight end here. 2nd and a yard. Design run Vick. Big opening. Marcus. 1st down as he is sent skyward at the 27-yard line by Jamie Silver, the free safety.
He may tell you that he doesn't love to run, that he'd rather throw. But don't be mistaken. He still has that ability to get in the open field. And if King's able to sustain his block on Silva, he gets into the open field and has a chance to take it all the way into the end zone.
4 wides. And Emo the lone back. 5 options to throw it to. Here is Emo the running back. Smells the sideline. Saves clock. That's only going to be a gain of about a yard or so with 82 seconds left until half. Kirk, I started to mention, I just want to go through you. Ken Oxendine back in the mid-90s, 1996. Sharon Stith, Lee Suggs, and Kevin Jones alternated as the leading rusher. Emo was the top guy last year. Now Humes and Emo. The one constant is the running backs coach, Billy Height, who's somewhere on that list of top runners by year at Virginia Tech. What a great job he does with that group year in, year out.
Helps with the continuity of the offense, with the coaches, the offensive coaches, and how many years now they've been here with this system.
2nd and 9. Vick. Room to run. Makes one miss. 1st down at the 11-yard line. He gains 50. He is not as fast as Michael, but he still has that elusiveness and that missability.
Mike, it just go whether your last name's Vic or not. When you have this ability, this has become the new kind of the new trend in college football. Head coaches, offensive coordinators are looking for this. Things break down. I need a guy who can be the answer. The defense cannot account for everything, and this is the new trend you're going to continue to see is the athletic quarterback making the play when things break down.
Here he goes again. 10 to the 5, brought down at the 3. They have a timeout left inside of a minute, so no reason to hustle. They can get a first down at the 1-yard line, spot the ball at the 3.
What I like about these runs by Marcus Vick, Mike, is he's getting back. He's reading the defense. He's not being impatient. He just is recognizing that everything's been taken away, so he takes off right away without any hesitation, which is a problem for him early in the year. Right now, he's not hesitating, and he's picking up big yards.
This is Boston College's timeout. Virginia Tech has a second down from the 3.
Winning. It's all in the mind. In the classrooms and laboratories at Virginia Tech, every day is game day.
ACC sporting events are fun and exciting for everyone. A time to show enthusiasm for the game, both players and fans alike. However, some behavior has shifted focus away from the spirit of the games. At the Atlantic Coast Conference, fairness and sportsmanship has been our goal for more than 50 years. And across the ACC, we're always working hard to achieve this goal. It's an important part of what we do. Sportsmanship, the ultimate goal.
Prime time in the Big Ten on Saturday night. College football prime time presented by Polaroid, Michigan and Northwestern. The Cardiac guys in Ann Arbor and the high-scoring folks from Evanston. The party may still be going on in the Chicagoland area after the White Sox won the World Series last night. Pretty good game Saturday night. Available like this one in high definition on ESPN HD. Your cable operator, satellite provider can tell you more about that. Out of the BC timeout, 2nd and 2 for the first down, 3 for the touchdown. Vic rolls it, throws it, Morgan, touchdown. Mom, Michael, they've seen it before. Brandon Pace on for another extra point. He's made all 35 of those this year. And after falling behind for the first time since opening night, Virginia Tech has scored 2 touchdowns in 2 drives and 6 minutes.
Mike, we're just talking about the trends in college football, the athletic quarterback and how he can make plays. Marcus Vick just had a great drive, but how about being inside the 5-yard line? Virginia Tech has struggled in recent weeks inside the 5-yard line. How about the shotgun inside the 5-yard line, rolling Marcus Vick out, and he throws right away. The thing that was great there is he knew where he was going with the football. The second he had the ball in his hands, throws it out to the flat for the touchdown to Josh Morgan. Mom's pretty happy about that one.
It seemed like that long ago we saw her in that number 7 jersey as well. She is here watching her 2 sons lead a school with a very proud football heritage, but not great football teams over the years. All of a sudden break through, really, with Michael putting them on the map, taking them to another level, and Marcus continuing that trend here. It's much more than one guy. But let's face it, good quarterbacks make good teams very good, and championship caliber teams. And And we're seeing a little bit with struggles and success last week and a good first half against one of the better defensive teams in the country. We're seeing Marcus Vick emerge to that level where, yes, he can take a team all the way.
You know, everybody wants to compare Michael to Marcus. One thing that is a fair comparison is that competitive spirit. And when the pressure is on and the game is bigger, he performs better. Both Marcus and Michael like that element. They like to be on the big stage.
Boston College has 33 seconds and 2 timeouts remaining, so the ball is thus squibbed to see if they can get a slowed return. DeJuan Tribble came out of there and brings it to the 30-yard line with 25 seconds left. Well, you mentioned the moments that Marcus's older brother Michael had when these two teams were in the Big East. You know what? When I watch this, what did I say to you?
Is that Reggie Bush?
Reggie Bush. It looks like Reggie.
That's Reggie Bush.
Doesn't it?
It does.
This was a 210-yard rushing performance in 2000 against BC.
Oh, gosh.
That was just silly at Alumni Stadium.
Oh, no, watch. This is sad right here. I remember this one. Safety. Hadid. Hey. Spin. By the way, he went 90 on that play.
The only guy who brought him down was his own guy. With just a half-minute left, a run for Collender gets nothing. You're going to hear more about Marcus Vick, as Reese told you, coming up at halftime. Joe Shad, our college football reporter, had a chance to come here and visit with Marcus, dealing with the bumps in the road and the legacy left behind by his brother. But he's making his own music in this first half, and so are his teammates. You don't get 290 yards on your own. Boston College has given up more in the first half than they do in an average game this year, and Aaron is going to visit with their head coach, Tom O'Brien.
Well, Coach, Virginia Tech's offense really picked it up here in the second quarter. What does your defense need to do in the second half to counter?
Well, we have to get off the field. We haven't been able to get off the field, and then Vick took over that last drive. We just couldn't stop him scrambling. One
of the keys on your defense, Kiwanuka, how is he feeling? He's been in and out of this game.
Well, we're trying to keep him fresh. He hadn't worked out in 2 weeks, so he's feeling fine, but he's not really conditioned to play.
All right, Coach, thank you. Mike, back to you.
First-class guy all the way, 57-year-old Tom O'Brien. By the time of possession, Virginia Tech 17.5 minutes, BC 12.5. Virginia Tech gets the ball first in the third, Reese and Mark, and they're on top, 20-7.
Scary proposition right now, Mike. Glad to have you along on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report. Terrific first half by the Hokies. Everything looked up to par, just about.
Except for those jerseys. I think this weekend they're perfect. You can get a bag and maybe a mask and you can go out trick-or-treating.
You don't like the one orange shoulder?
No, I don't.
Everything else, though, dressed for success for the Hokies in the first half. Well, Broncos offensive lineman and former tight end Dwayne Carswell is in critical but stable condition. He was involved in an automobile accident on his way to team headquarters today. Suffered internal injuries, including a...
Pure vision. Only from Pioneer.
Come today, baby. Come.
They have come and they have been heard from. Marcus with a little bit of that Magic Michael feel to it has been very Vick in the first half. 20-7, Virginia Tech leads. They receive the ball to start the third quarter. Welcome back to Blacksburg with Aaron Andrews and Kirk Herbstreit. Mike Tirico. The story for BC has been so much of Marcus Vick and Kirk. As you talk to people back over here, other NFL scouts and people who are here watching, they walk away and say, number 5's the difference maker.
Well, he sure was in the latter part of the half. I mean, he took a couple series over there, and all of a sudden it has a feeling here in this stadium at 20-7, Virginia Tech getting the ball back. This drive right here is very crucial to Boston College to stay in this football game.
As you mentioned, Virginia Tech will get it with Ryan Oliger kicking it off for BC. Virginia Tech strong in most facets of the game. And as the second half goes on, we'll talk about their championship aspirations and what stands in their way. Miscommunication leads to Eddie Royal's return coming out just shy of the 25-yard line. We have a penalty marker down back at the 13-yard line, and likely this will be starting from even farther back. Ron Cherry, our referee. It'll be the third penalty on Virginia Tech. Boston College flagged 3 times in the first half. Frank Beamer.
The block in the back. 31 on the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First half.
On his way to win 143 if he can get more of a second half like he did the first half from his quarterback.
Well, Marcus Vick went out and made some plays, 13 of 17. He seemed to just not only throw the ball accurately, but make great decisions and make fast decisions. Every time he got back, he would be able to either deliver the ball on the money or hurt the defense with his feet. Tonight, he has looked, to me, that was his most complete half of football against a good opponent.
There you see the numbers last week with those mistakes being so heavily involved. Here's the first run for a gain of about a yard or 2 with Cedric Humes back after the broken arm against Marshall. And in the first half, Kirk Humes carried it 5 times for 25 yards.
We talk about what he brings into that backfield, having that power to go along with Emo. But Marcus Vick, last week, out of sync to a degree, throwing the football. He made some mistakes, something he has not done much of at all this year. He had to use his feet. Ran for 133 yards. But tonight, Mike, I don't even care what the numbers are showing. And I know the numbers are good. It's just he looks to be in control and command of the offense.
Here he is on 2nd and 9. Good decision not to throw it there. Comes back to the near side. He's twisted down at about the 10-yard line by the man who was featured with Marcus coming into the game, Matthias Kiwanuka. He is from Indianapolis, already has his degree, missed the Wake Forest game because of the medial collateral ligament sprain to his right knee.
Mike, as I said, it's not, be careful there. It's not so much the pain that he's fighting, it's the looseness of his knee. He's got a future that he's thinking about. I'm really impressed with him last night. Talking to him, you can see how heavily bandaged the right knee is, and he's got a brace on it for support. But I was really impressed to find out he's the heart and soul of the defense. He's not a prima donna. This guy is loved by his teammates.
His throw down the middle is incomplete, and it'll be a 3-and-out for Kiwanuka, Ryan Glasper, and the rest of that Boston College defense.
Glasper comes over to bat the ball away. Huge play by Glasper. Huge series by the Boston College defense to start this second half. Vick's been hurting them at times tonight, right over the middle of the field. And I'll tell you, that ball would have been caught if Glasper didn't come over at the last second and get his left arm in there to knock that ball away from Jeff King.
The gunner double covered on the near side. BC trying to set up a return of the Nick Schmidt punt. Good kick, 48 yards. Return from the 41, and with room, DeJuan Tribble taken across midfield and to the 41-yard line of Virginia Tech. So terrific starting position for Boston College, an 18-yard return, and Quentin Porter will lead the offense onto the field.
I'm not telling you to stay tuned here, but I am telling you that Boston College has shown a lot of the ability to persevere. Down earlier this year, 14-0 to Florida State in the first 5 minutes, came back to make it a ball game. They went on the road the next week at Clemson, got into a battle, went on to win that game. Much different climate, different team, number 3 Virginia Tech, but they've been here before. Maybe that experience will help them.
A first down pass to the tight end, Chris Miller. Across the 20 and into the red zone at the 18-yard line. We didn't see a lot of passes on first down. We didn't see a tight end in the first half.
Well, that was a great call by Dana Bible. Remember, they are not checking at the line of scrimmage. They want to get up, they want to throw. And I'll tell you, we talk a lot about Jeff King, but for a first play of the second half, Chris Miller of Upper Arlington, Ohio, makes a nice catch.
From the 19, here goes Whitworth pounding through the middle to the 13-yard line. Gain of 6 of the play. We'll have 2nd and 4. And Chris Miller, who already has his degree, showed that ability to stretch the field. He had the first touchdown of the last 2 seasons for Boston College. And as mentioned, the tight end is from Upper Arlington, Ohio.
I just mentioned Upper Arlington. That's the Golden Bears' hometown.
Jack Nicklaus, I'm sure, is watching and appreciates the reference. On play action, here is Porter for Blackman, off his hands, and incomplete. Almost able to hit the timing of the second touchdown for the senior out of Rhode Island.
Mike, Mike, there are some seams in the secondary that Boston College is trying to take advantage of. They're going to get back in this game, not only being down, Mike, but they're struggling running the football. They're going to have to throw the ball, not only to catch up, but to open up the running lanes to get back into this game.
Porter, a lot of room to run. 15 to 10. Can he get the first down? He's right at the line. He fought forward, and he may have picked it up.
I hope he's alive there. I mean, he really got hit fighting for that first down. He got looks like a favorable spot. Impressed with the effort there by the senior on third down to try to stretch the ball across. Mike, at this point, he knows what's about to happen. He's trying to make a decision on which way to go. He's stretching out, and Darryl Tapp came right into his grill. Watch this. Boom!
Chains being brought from the far side over to the mark, which looked to be a very good mark by the officials. It's where the ball is when your knee hits the ground or your body, and it's a first down on all effort from the senior quarterback who started the first three and then came out because of the injury against Florida State, injured on a reverse as he was handing it off. Missed the Clemson and Ball State game, now coming back for the last three starts here for BC.
For a guy that talked to us last night about the importance of him playing with poise, he sure is demonstrating that now, down 13 into the second half.
L.V. Whitworth got his feet tangled up with his prone offensive lineman. Or his fullback, actually, who was knocked to the ground. Second down and goal. Here's Kirk's Home Depot coaching adjustments for the second half.
It actually fits here. Going back to when we first started the second half, we're talking about the importance to stretch the field, whether it's Blackman, whether it's Chris Miller, whether it's Lester Gonzalez. Stretch the field to get back to doing what you do best, which is running the football. And for Virginia Tech, they have Virginia Tech on the ropes. They're looking for the knockout punch.
They're locating Blackman every time he comes out of the huddle. He's at the top of your screen. Larry Lester, the receivers outside of him in motion. They clear the area for Whitworth, who couldn't catch it. It's an incomplete forward pass. Not a backward pass, so it's no fumble. And we have third and goal coming up. And this place, enclosed now because of the new construction here on the west side of the stadium, into this closed end on the south, is so loud at night. Probably has never been as loud with the sound being trapped. Will become even louder when the Eagles break the huddle.
Mike, I wouldn't be surprised to see some form of blitz here by Virginia Tech.
Porter throwing, incomplete. The extended hands of Kevin Challenger, who had a huge touchdown in the win against Wake Forest. Those two touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Jonathan Lewis brought the pressure. A field goal attempt coming.
Porter throws his football into traffic. He gets it over the extended arm of Vince Hall, the linebacker. Challenger, if he would have continued to come across, he's able to make the play and score the touchdown. Nice touch by Porter.
From 26, big kick by William Troost, a senior who only had one career field goal coming in tonight. In his second game as a kicker in a pressure spot. Nailed it.
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. Taco Bell's Big Bell Value Menu, featuring the half-pound beef combo burrito with double the beef. To keep your stomach and your wallet full, think outside the bun.
Tied 7-7. We'll be back after the break.
Beer run. Beer run.
Oh, beer run.
Beer run.
This season, don't miss a thing from your sports or your beer. Grab a Miller Lite with more taste than Bud Light and half the carbs. Miller, good call.
There he is right there.
Got it. Come here. It crashed again.
Reboot with F8 into safe mode.
Hostile target, tracking southeast, 270 for 50.
Roger that.
ever think that the waste we generate will generate support for local events? The same people who lead the way in recycling nationwide and who conduct educational programs for our children. We're Waste Management. Working with local leaders, we're developing smart, earth-friendly landfill properties that serve the community in unexpected ways. From everyday collection to environmental protection. Think green. Think Waste Management.
This year, only one film is devilishly clever, fast-moving, sexy, smart. This is crazy. Fun.
Ow! That's unusual, right?
Yes. Kiss, bang, bang. Rated R. Now playing in select cities. Additional cities October 28th.
Is he with you?
Yeah, that's my friend Steve. He's not a member. I brought him to talk to someone about spyware. He doesn't think it's a problem now that he has a high-speed connection.
Hi, Steve. A basic high-speed connection can make you more vulnerable to spyware, which can slow your performance up to 500%. But AOL automatically scans your computer for spyware, so
Yeah, sometimes he freezes up.
we can help with that, too.
Okay.
Want a better internet? You belong at AOL.
20-10 Virginia Tech. Reminder as you tune around Saturday, the options that are available on ABC. The games not seen in your area with the regional coverage are available on ESPN Game Plan. ESPN.com. Search Game Plan. There's even a way you can watch games online on your computer.
That's a whole different level there. You're going to have to walk me through that part.
You can't. You haven't.
No, haven't quite figured that out yet.
It's really easy.
Is it easy stuff?
I went back in the room today and watched the second quarter of BC Wake Forest, which is part of the game plan, and some of the old games get stored on there.
That's great.
I'll get you on that real soon.
Cool.
Short kickoff by Oliger, returned by Morgan. Big hit by Brian Toll, the starting linebacker, at the 25-yard line. So Toll, Matthias Kiwanuka, and the rest of the BC defense will be asked to come up with a stop again. A lot of you have heard about Kiwanuka. His story is one that is so unique in college football. From the African nation of Uganda, where his family, especially his grandfather, Benedicto Kiwanuka, and Matthias went back as a teen, 1991, to go see the homeland where his dad was from. That's the presidential seal of Uganda and the flag of the country that's in his dorm room in Boston. It's so important to him because his grandfather, Benedicto, was the first prime minister of Uganda. Eddie Royal on the run, gets across the 30 to the 31. Gain of 7 yards. So back to Kiwanuka. Great Britain had rule over so many countries in the world after the post-war era, including Uganda. Well, after taking over from British rule, gaining their independence, Kiwanuka's grandfather, Benedicto, was the first prime minister of the country. Then, a decade later, in the early 70s, he was assassinated by the henchmen for dictator Idi Amin during the military coup. The name Kiwanuka means so much still today in Uganda. This carry is going to be stopped short of the first down by the BC defense. Toll, who's been right on that hairy edge of getting the flag for being too rough, is now getting on the nerves of the Hokie fans, but he made a good play filling the hole, and it's third down. When you sit with Matthias Kiwanuka, the point about his life and his grandfather's impact over there in Uganda is so strong, and you see the timeline that we told you about with his grandfather. It's part of what he's made up of. It's part of the drive that made him one of the best defensive linemen in the country. It's part of the drive that has made him a very strong-minded, strong-willed individual that you see on the football field in some of his great play. Third down, the throw is complete to Justin Harper for a first down to the 42-yard line. So once again, Marcus Vick makes a big play on third down to keep a Boston College drive alive, Virginia Tech drive alive.
Mike, just to show you where Marcus Vick is with his development, this is what you wouldn't have seen from a Michael Vick early in his career. He looked off the corner in the linebacker into the flat, opened it up for a nice throwing window to Justin Harper, and sat calmly in the pocket and read the defense and delivered the ball to Justin Harper for the first down.
From the 42, Vick keeping this little option look, and Toll and Kiwanuka were watching him all the way, and there's no game there. You know, the point of Kiwanuka and why we bring him up, and it's a shame because you're not seeing him at 100% tonight because of that knee sprain, the knee injury suffered in Virginia game 3 weeks ago. He has a very similar tie with Marcus Vick. They have leadership in their past, and now they've been handed a torch in far different ways. Kiwanuka is a grandfather's name value and life-changing moments for a country in Uganda. Vic because of his brother Michael, and they are taking it to that next step and making names for themselves while supporting and surrounded by that great heritage. There's Marcus escorted out of bounds at the 47. We talked about Michael Vick's family a lot tonight. Aaron has a little bit more on Matthias Kiwanuka.
It's crazy to think, Mike, that BC almost passed up on Matthias. You know, when BC was recruiting his high school in Indiana, they were actually recruiting one of the offensive linemen that plays for the Eagles, Jeremy Trueblood, who was actually Matthias's good friend. Coach O'Brien had heard Matthias was a good athlete. He actually went to his basketball game to check him out. They thought he was too skinny, actually, to play for this Eagles team, and wow, good thing they didn't pass up on him. Jeremy told me yesterday he felt bad for Matthias at the time, but he's so proud he's made it happen for himself. Mike?
Yeah, hey, think about it, 6'5", about 200 pounds, kind of a lanky, more of a basketball player than he was a great football player at the time.
Little push there, not enough, as the pass is caught by Hyman, who is swung to the ground by Will Blackman. So Blackman's coming in to play defensive back here. You know this becomes an important drive. He hasn't played a ton on defense this year.
Well, part of Marcus Vick's ability to sit in the pocket, Mike, has a lot to do with the offensive line. And Kiwanuka got the pressure, pushed Dwayne Brown back into the pocket, but still, it allowed Vick enough time to read the defense, settle in there, and make the throw. That was a great look between Kiwanuka, who's a future NFL star, and Dwayne Brown, the right tackle, who's moved from tight end, who's a future NFL star.
Mike Emo runs to that right side out of the arm tackle of Kiwanuka, and he's brought down by Jamie Silva at the 27-yard line. Big drive here for Virginia Tech as BC's Kiwanuka comes to the sideline.
The thing that I was most impressed in preparing for this game and reading about Kiwanuka, not only his grandfather, but his mom. His mom worked 3 jobs at a time, sometimes working 20 hours a day for he and his 2 brothers to be able to go to private school growing up. And that, I think, has a lot to do with the kind of individual he has become, not only his grandfather, but his mom as well.
From the 27, Emo, they couldn't stop him the first time. He gains 2 yards to the 25. We'll have 3rd and 2 coming up. It was Tom O'Brien, the head coach at Boston College, who made the point that this past summer he tried to contact Matthias. And where was he? He was with his mom. His mom started a business to help support those kids, a cleaning service. And he was with his mom helping out. This is a guy who's a first-round NFL pick in all likelihood when you talk to Mel Kiper and other draft analysts. A guy who has a $3 million insurance policy against injury, which unfortunately happened, but fortunately didn't keep him out of the lineup too long. 3rd and 2, Emo runs up the middle on a first down to the 22-yard line. So when O'Brien calls, where was Kiwanuka? He was helping his mom on her job during the summer.
Right. Mike, this is the third down that Virginia Tech has been able to get a first down. And to be able to push the defensive line back, you get to 3rd and 2, you hand the ball off into that backfield, you're relying on that big offensive line. And when you're up by 10 and you feel some urgency from Boston College, boy, is it very, very imperative you're successful on 3rd downs. Twice they've thrown for it, and now they come out to see if Emo is being able to pick up the third down. Not even close.
We need to measure that?
I guess just to be safe.
I guess so.
About 1.5 yards there, first down.
Well, they don't have our 1st and 10 line crew.
Yeah.
Dialed in from game 1 of the season. 6.5 left, 3rd quarter. BC 6-1. Only lost to Florida State. Now taking on one of the other heavyweights here in the ACC. An old Big East friend in Virginia Tech. Designed to run for Marcus Vick. He gets to the 20-yard line. We'll give him 2 yards officially on that one. Jamie Silva's been very, very active, as he was when he won the ACC Defensive Player of the Week. 11 solo tackles in the Wake Forest game. The last one for BC.
Well, in this scheme with Boston College, their defensive line, especially their interior people, their tackles, do as good a job as they can of taking the offensive linemen, occupying them, and freeing up the linebackers and safeties to run and make plays against those running games.
Mike Emo is met by that big defensive lineman, B.J. Raji. And we'll have third down coming up. Jalon Dunbar, the linebacker, helped clean up the penetration by the sophomore out of Washington Township, New Jersey.
Ball spotted at the 18-yard line, third down and 6 for the Hokies.
Virginia Tech taking their time here. This is a nice long drive. This will be the 12th play of the drive, keeping the ball away from Boston College. Again, it's the 4th third down for Virginia Tech on this drive.
We've got Brandon Orr, the freshman running back, in the game here on this third down. Orr's blocking for Marcus Vick, who's galloping through the hole, and the mark is going to have him right at, and looks to be a first down at the 12. Now that one I would have measured, right?
Right. You know, well, it's a little closer to the sideline. Maybe that helped him.
It's like the yellow line was there for assistance for the officials to lay it down on. Another third down.
What a threat, though. 3rd and 6. Get in the shotgun. Everybody's thinking that you're going to drop back to throw. You run the quarterback sweep around the right corner. Pick up a nice block by the running back and the right tackle, Dwayne Brown. Marcus Vick dives, picks up another first down.
One of the reasons Brandon Orr is in, Mike Emo's shake it up. He's on the Virginia Tech bench. Here is Vick throwing complete to the tight end, John Kinzer. Used to be a fullback. Only gains a couple of yards. A guy who's plays the role of fullback every once in a while. Brandon Toll made the tackle.
Brian Toll and Jasmine Williams.
Mike Marcus was looking downfield to his primary target. When he gets inside that 10-yard line, he loves Jeff King because of his size. He's going to go to the corner here. And I tell you, great coverage by Williams to sink on King, force Vick to throw it up, and then he came up to make the play.
2nd and 7, the freshman Orr. Boy, he hits the hole hard, but he fumbled the football. BC has it. They did not bring the ball out of the end zone. This should be a touchback. The fumble, it's recovered by the Eagles. The officials are confirming that he didn't come out, and it was a touchback. Eagle ball at the 20-yard line. Now, the head linesman has come in for his 2 cents on it. Where was the momentum of the football on the fumble becomes a question here. Just making sure of that. It is a touchback, and the Eagles get it at the 20. So Emo out as he was shaken up. The freshman Orr comes into the red zone, and a rare fumble lost for Virginia Tech. Only the 2nd one this year.
We talked about their inability to create turnovers this season, only 8 on the year. They have to create turnovers tonight. Silva gets run over, but the ball comes out at contact. It's hard to tell if Ricky Brown, the outside linebacker, or Silva, the safety, made the contact to jar the ball loose. It looks like Ricky Brown came over from the other side, made the hit, and that's part of the concern about playing a freshman. He doesn't have a history of fumbling, but when you play a freshman sometimes in a crucial situation, it can backfire on you.
So BC takes over at its own 20 after a 14-play scoreless drive.
ESPN College Game Day.
It don't get any better than this.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
It's the Dodge Model Year-End Clearance. Your last chance to grab an 05 with the Dodge Advantage. We've still got a lot of 05s, but not for long. Save on the Hemi-powered Ram, the all-new Dakota with best-in-class interior room, and Durango with a 5-star frontal crash test rating. Now get the Dodge Advantage, including up to $5,500 combined cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months. See your Dodge dealer today or visit Dodge.com. Hurry, because once the Dodge you want is gone, it's gone.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Hey, Mambo! Mambo Italiano, you must go, 'cause something tasty's going on. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Now Chase Rewards cards can give you double points whenever you dine out. Love the double from Chase. You'll love picking up the check twice as much. Love the double from Chase.
You're on a mission to get an amazing new TV this year, but you want to be absolutely sure you pick the right one. Circuit City makes it simple. That's because only Circuit City has a website with thousands of customer reviews that rate all the hot new stuff. Plus, home entertainment experts in our stores who make choosing the right TV a lot simpler. Circuit City.
Now that Yellow Book is coast to coast, we thought about branching out. Yellow Book Cola looked very good. Fly Yellow Book Air. Fast food. Tasty. Wow, theme parks. The Yellow Book brand would be cool on lots of great stuff. The possibilities are endless. Coffee houses. Skateboards. Why not Yellow Book toothpaste? Maybe we should stick to what we do best. Great directories. Yellowbook.com and Yellow Book, not the other book. 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
Few better places for a Thursday night than Blacksburg, Virginia. Temperature diving down into the low 40s. We started at 47 tonight. It's cooled off. A lot of the fans have gone for extra gloves or hats. 20-10, Virginia Tech leading Boston College. After the fumble, Eagles take over at their own 20. Hollander, first down run for about 2 yards. Kirk coming in tonight. All I heard about was the BC offensive line, how huge they are. Trueblood, Martin, and Ross, and Beekman, and Sherrillis. They're just massive. They are an NFL-type offensive line. I'm looking at 18 runs and 33 yards, and I'm saying, where are these guys?
They're getting beat up front. Defensive line, and more importantly, the speed of the linebackers from Virginia Tech are taking away any inside runs. BC's got to get the ball downfield.
They swing it out to Collender. Open field play by James Anderson. We'll have 3rd and 5 coming up. Aaron, what about that O-line?
Guys, great story on the offensive line. Jeremy Trueblood telling me yesterday, for a bonding experience this past summer, they decided to go to a water park together. Well, you know those slides where you can fit 4 people down an inner tube? Not happening for this offensive line. They could only get 2 people down, and the poor employees, they couldn't even fit the guys. So they just had to go 1 offensive lineman per inner tube. Kirby, what do you got for that?
Hey, girl. Can I get that hat after the game?
Listen, Ohio guy.
I like that look. It looks good.
3rd and 5. Porter is flushed. He's in trouble. He gets rid of it. That's his offensive lineman. So there. Forget the inner tube. They can catch passes. James Martin out of Indianapolis caught it. So obviously that is a flag for an ineligible receiver catching the ball. It'll be loss of down. Going to back him up deep. And be 4th down.
Be very,
just think of
very, very careful with what's about to happen for Boston College.
You smelling a punt block, Kurt?
I don't. Something. Just be very careful, because we're talking coming over to the game, talking about what we expect, and one thing we expected is a competitive game. But at the end of it, you always have the threat and the potential. What do they say? Welcome to the Terror Dome.
So Corey Moore said on the sideline against Clemson, 1999.
BC has already had two punts blocked on the year, right?
The penalty is declined, so the fumble does not turn into anything but a Johnny Ayers punt. They'll set up a return here. They've done that most of the night, and Ayers is getting great kicks off. This one all the way back to the 25. Eddie Royal's got room if he can get past this man. He does, but he forced him wide enough to take it out to midfield. Nice job by Silva to force it wide. Chris Miller, the tight end, made the tackle.
It's not just blocking the punt, it's the potential for the big return to give the offense great field position.
It's a different world when you've got a Hemi. Charger Unleashed. Now get the Dodge Advantage, including $500 bonus cash allowance that gets you a 2006 Charger for under 26 grand.
Now the big game really is in your room.
That's unbelievable!
ESPN and Fisher-Price introduced the ESPN Shot Block Basketball. It's the only basketball game with built-in defense, featuring the voice of ESPN's own Dick Vitale.
Wow, what a nice shot!
With electronic scoring and real crowd noise, the ESPN Shot Block Basketball gives you 8 different ways to play, from rookie to pro.
What a performance like that, you might be on SportsCenter!
Take it to the hole with the ESPN Shot Block Basketball. In stores now. Batteries not included.
The most interactive event of the year returns. Debate, arm wrestling contest, or street fight. It's the most revolutionary pay-per-view concept ever. WWE Taboo Tuesday, now playing on Dish Network pay-per-view.
Did you tell them?
I don't think it's gonna matter.
Oh, it's gonna matter.
It's about first impressions.
Percy Jones, pleased to meet you. I like that solid grip.
Dad, this is Simon.
Awkward moment.
It's about being yourself.
We taught our girls to see only people, not color.
Where is he? Oh my God, are we being audited?
It's about just getting along.
Now you get in.
Guess who?
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's.
Southern California and Texas stand ahead of Virginia Tech in the human polls. The computers out there have it reversed with Texas up top and Southern California then Virginia Tech. The Hokies have lived in BC territory. They've had ball control, field position. BC's lucky they're only down 10. Marcus Vick to the fullback. Tight end Kincher. Oh, he went hurdle for the first down. That is 6'2", 245. Going track team on you to get a first down.
Well, the fans love to see it. You always expect a receiver, a quarterback, a tailback, but a big fullback / tight end H-back to go up and over a defensive back like Morris. You just don't see that. Boy, that is a heck of an athletic play. And not only that, but he landed and kept going. Looked like he knew what he was doing there.
Cedric Humes back in the game. He gets nothing. You saw Mike Emo was a little bit gimpy on the sideline. Brandon Orr, the freshman, fumbled. So now Humes going to have to do a lot of the carrying here. Final minute and a half. Third quarter in Blacksburg. Boston College trying to get the 7-1 win and hand Virginia Tech its first loss and knock them back from the top 3 in the BCS standings. If you're just joining us, Marcus Vick was brilliant in the first half. 248 total yards, 1 passing touchdown, a key touchdown run on a drive, and a big threat as well to defend for Boston College here tonight. Trying to improve to 8-0 as a starting quarterback. It's a pass to David Clowney. Lost the football out of bounds, so it remains with Virginia Tech at the 27-yard line. Actually fumbled it forward for about 2 yards.
Mike, again, it's a little thing, but we saw Quentin Porter from Boston College throw a ball in the flat behind his intended receiver earlier in the game. This time, Marcus Vick throws it in front of receiver Clowney, and it gives him a chance to be in full stride. Ricky Brown knocking the ball loose, and Virginia Tech fortunate the ball rolls out of bounds. Virginia Tech has not turned the ball over much at all this year until they've been on Thursday Night Football the last 2 weeks.
Quite a quarter for Ricky Brown out of Ohio, Cincinnati's Elder High School. Here is Vick dancing, scrambling, being Vickian to get a first down at the 22-yard line.
Like, you don't want to make too big a deal of this, but again, it's a third down. He knows exactly where he has to go. A little move on Brian Toll, the best linebacker for Boston College. Great athlete, plays some offense in the open field. Marcus Vick cuts right back in front of him. If Toll makes that play, Virginia Tech's attempting a field goal. First down.
Michael Lokeen chilling up against the wall here, the back end of the Virginia Tech bench. Watches his little brother give it to Cedric Hughes, who runs to the 17 as we head off to the fourth quarter. Only scoring in the third, a Boston College field goal, but Virginia Tech continuing to maintain control. They have 236 more yards, and even Michael remembers 4 fingers up, because off we go to the fourth quarter.
Tomorrow at 4, the latest Gridiron News on NFL Live.
Good night, honey.
Night.
Sometimes what you need after your holiday vacation
Happy Thanksgiving.
is a vacation.
You too.
Book it on Expedia now and save $150 on a trip next year.
Expedia.com.
It's the Dodge Model Year-End Clearance. Your last chance to grab an 05 with the Dodge Advantage. We've still got a lot of 05s, but not for long. Save on the Hemi-powered Ram, the all-new Dakota with best-in-class interior room, and Durango with a 5-star frontal crash test rating. Now get the Dodge Advantage, including up to $5,500 combined cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months. See your Dodge dealer today or visit Dodge.com. Hurry, because once the Dodge you want is gone, it's gone.
Apparently, somebody was up late last night. Make that somebody's. And that's okay. Because if you work hard, you play hard. Just don't look in the mirror. Unless you're using Nivea for Men Revitalizing Lotion Q10. Q10 restores your skin, leaving it healthy and fit. Well, that takes care of your face, but don't forget about your eyes. Reduce puffiness and lose the dark circles with Revitalizing Eye Cream Q10. Nivea for Men, more evolved skincare.
They are the kings and queens, the potentates of the road. We recognize them by their restless wing-tipped feet. We support them with new, thicker mattresses and lay the freshest fine white linens at their feet, an offering of respect. Our beds, ourselves, we've changed it all for them. Rest well, my liege. Rest well.
What's going on, Daddy? Can I borrow the car?
It's a school night.
Come on, please. Yo, I promise to take my girl out. How about now?
Surrender to the mesmerizing taste of Wendy's Bacon Mushroom Melt. A big bacon cheeseburger made fresh, smothered in mushrooms and a creamy, dreamy cheddar cheese sauce.
It is way past your curfew.
You are grounded, young man.
How about now?
Give in to Wendy's Bacon Mushroom Melt. Do Wendy's. Do what tastes right.
I knew he'd come in handy someday.
I'm State Farm Agent Ephraim Sanchez, and this is a true story.
I never knew that his good grades would save us money on car insurance.
I never knew he could get good grades.
He cheated.
He had a tutor. When I found out about Mark's grades, I got him a good student discount.
Dad, if you get me a car, we could get another discount.
Mark's getting a car?
That's so not fair.
More drivers get more discounts from State Farm than anybody else. See what a State Farm agent could save you today.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Sometimes what you need after your holiday vacation
Sorry, Mom.
is a vacation.
And Dad.
Book it on Expedia now and save $150 on a trip next year.
Expedia.com.
They do the hokey pokey after 3 and get us set for the fourth quarter. Here in Blacksburg with Aaron Andrews and Kirk Herbstreit. Mike Tirico, glad that you're on board for the best matchup within the top 25 this week. The home team leads it by 10. The quarter begins with 2nd and 6. One more trip inside the red zone at the Boston College 18. Cedric Hughes tackled by Mathias Kiwanuka, the ACC preseason player of the year on defense after being the Big East player of the year on the Eagles' exit from that conference last year. Another 3rd down coming up.
Kiwanuka gets in here, gets to the inside of Kinzer, but still the power that Cedric Hughes brings in gets him downfield a bit. Kiwanuka's been battling tonight, giving everything he has for a guy playing with a sprained MCL. And I think the Boston College coaches have handled him very well, kind of spotting him from time to time, trying to keep him fresh.
7 of 11 3rd down conversions for the Hokies tonight. They do it on the ground with Humes, who's going to be stopped shy of the 1st down, and we'll have a 31 or 32-yard field goal attempt coming up.
Mike, this Boston College defense has continued. I mean, when you have an offense that's been in your territory 7 of 8 possessions, and you're giving up only 23 points. When I say only, I mean, this could be a lot worse.
Absolutely.
Virginia Tech has made a living tonight in their red zone. They've controlled the clock, almost double the amount, and yet they're still within reach of staying in this game and having a chance to come back.
Brandon Pace from 31 yards. Good for the 3rd time tonight. 23-10. Virginia Tech on top. A minute and a half gone by in our 4th quarter.
You're on a mission to get an amazing new TV this year, but you want to be absolutely sure you pick the right one. Circuit City makes it simple. That's because we've got thousands of online customer reviews that rate the hot new stuff, plus expert advice in our stores. And right now, get no interest till January 2007 on all TVs and home audio $299 and up at Circuit City.
This month, I will rack up a massive cell phone bill talking about absolutely nothing.
When my parents open next month's cell phone bill, they will cry.
My calls will be monitored like a felon's.
My dad's patience with my cell phone bill will run out at a socially crippling time.
Don't get schooled in wireless. Get GoPhone. Pay as you go with cash or pick your plan with debit or credit. GoPhone comes with everything but a surprise bill.
I will be grounded several times this year, but not because of my GoPhone.
Only from Singular, raising the bar.
Introducing Taco Bell's new Steak or Chicken Nachos Bel Grande. Grilled authentic carne asada steak or marinated all white meat chicken give Nachos Bel Grande that great flavor of the grill. For great grilled taste, think outside the bun.
Buy House of Wax on DVD.
You see anybody?
I don't think anyone's here.
Come face to face
Please, somebody!
with fear. House of Wax. Buy it now on DVD.
Protect this house.
You beat the big guys every year. You know they can't touch you. They know they can't touch you. How does the team stay motivated?
If you don't get motivated when you put on the armor, then you ain't got a pulse, man.
4th down. The ball sits at the Under Armour 10-yard line. Goliath down to its last shot.
We must protect this house.
SSX on tour. Rated D10 for ages 10 and up.
EA Sports. 23-10 Virginia Tech. Chad Henne has gotten a lot of criticism this year, but the Michigan quarterback's been very good. 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and the last one last week at Iowa wasn't his fault. The wrong route was run. He and Michigan go to Evanston to take on Northwestern. College football primetime presented by Polaroid, available in high definition. And note that start time, please, 7 Eastern on ESPN.
Mike, I think that'll be the most exciting game of the weekend. Back and forth, a lot of points. Should be a good one.
Will Blackman returns the hurdle favor out to the 22. Watching everything Saturday in the studio and tonight, Reese Davis.
All right, Mike, this week's singular All-America Player of the Week, Brady Quinn. 6 touchdown passes for the Fighting Irish against BYU. And every week you can access the nominees by texting the word VOTE to 87654 on your Singular wireless phone. Make your opinion heard. You might win a trip to the national championship game.
Reese, that happened in the 49-23 win over BYU. Notre Dame off this week before Tennessee comes to South Bend on November 5th.
Put Notre Dame in the books at 9-2. Send them out to Tempe, Mike, for the Fiesta Bowl. Big year for the Irish.
I think there's a school wearing orange that you've got the attention of.
I've taken.
Don't sleep on the balls.
I'm not sleeping on them. It's just they got to go to South Bend.
Porter in trouble. Sack. First time they've been able to get all the way through. The dancing from Darryl Tapp, his 4th on the season. First team all-league last year, and maybe this as well.
Mike, keep in mind that this is a Boston College offensive line that has only allowed 5 sacks on the year. Virginia Tech comes in. They finally get the pressure with just 4, and Darryl Tapp's able to close in on the pocket.
Over the years, this is where Virginia Tech teams have pinned their ears back when teams become one-dimensional, and it's a feeding frenzy. Look at Tapp trying to get in there, but the throw by Porter is incomplete. Unable to keep his balance was the receiver Taylor Saleh, who was born in Liberia and grew up in Richmond Hill, New York. Well, third down coming up.
This is what we talk about, this moment in the game, where you are one-dimensional. You do have to throw the football. The defensive ends are able to put their ears back and come after you. But the other thing, Mike, is this is typically where you see something. In the past, we've seen something happen. When the crowd gets like this, the defense seems to feed off of it, create the turnover, and this is where they have in the past come out with a knockout punch.
3rd and 19, pressure up the middle, quick throw to the tight end, Chris Miller. Nowhere near a first down, 4th down, and the Virginia Tech coaches very excited about the job their defense just did.
They've set up for the return almost every time tonight on the punt return.
One more for Johnny Ayers, who's been very good kicking the football tonight. And they've been very quick getting rid of it, too. Another boomer. Good stuff. 49 yards. Here's Royal from the 31. Flag down as Toll missed the first tackle. And the cleanup is done by the other linebacker, Ray Henderson, at the 39. But like we said, there's a penalty marker down. Been 3 on each side tonight. Relatively well-played football game. Hey, by the way, remember all those personal fouls last week?
Yeah.
Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I remember those.
You got to tell me what happened.
On the return, number 2, a block in the back. 10 yards, first down.
Jimmy Williams, who got some of those flags last week. And Frank Beamer's not happy about that. Maybe more unhappy with the call than his players. So what happened with all the penalties and uncharacteristic flags that came to Virginia Tech there in the second half last week at Maryland?
Well, that was kind of a characteristic of Virginia Tech team from a couple years ago. Some of the personal fouls. And it's something that Frank Beamer got away from. He made a big emphasis on that last year. It had a lot to do with their unity. And it's carried over into this year. That's why it was surprising last week late in the game we did see that. And he went back to an old rule. And he said, for every personal foul, every yard, it's going to cost you a 100-yard sprint.
Marcus Vick from the 24. Dangerous throw brought in by Clowney, who's been very good tonight. Picks up the first down out at the 35.
So if you're out jabbing and you get called for a personal foul, you're going to meet on Wednesday after the game, in the typical Saturday game. You'll meet on Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. with the head coach. And if you have a 15-yard personal foul, you're going to run 15 100-yard sprints. If you have 2, you're going to run 30.
Wow.
30 or 100-yard sprints.
That's with the head coach.
With the head coach.
Who doesn't like getting up at 6 a.m. necessarily.
No. And then he shows the video in front of the whole team to basically the peer pressure and the humiliation in front of the team.
Mike Emo back in the game, cut it back, but couldn't get there. Jalon Dunbar's had a very nice game. This converted running back, as we mentioned, Corcoran High School in Syracuse, New York, within the city limits there. It's about 5 minutes in the Carrier Dome. It's another play for this sophomore at 6'1".
These Boston College linebackers, much like the Virginia Tech linebackers, very active. Run around, make a lot of plays. And tonight, they've had their hands full against Emo and Humes.
Dunbar officially credited for 5 tackles. Here comes 2nd and 9. Marcus Vick looking downfield, breaking free, Justin Harper to the 23-yard line. Pick up a 42. Hokie first down. What a throwing night for Marcus.
Mike, this is an interesting call here because you have Jeff King as a tight end who's going to get vertical, and you have the receiver to the outside who's also going to get vertical. The read is going to be right there, the safety. The safety, number 24, Ryan Glasper, is occupied to the middle of the field by King, but opens up the entire bottom part of the field for Harper. Great read there by Marcus Vick, took his time and made the throw.
And it's second down, up 13. You're kind of milking clock, trying to grind it. A very nice play call. Reverse Eddie Royal. It scored earlier. This time BC's right there. And Jasmine Williams, the senior out of Rochester, makes the stop after a gain of a couple. Well, last week we saw Marcus Vick set a career high for rushing yardage against Maryland. Tonight, it's a career high in passing yardage against Boston College.
Mike, after his first 4 throws, I made a comment that he looks like a different quarterback tonight than the one we saw a week ago. And not to get caught up in his numbers, and he's 20 of 25, career night 267. Just the way he's checking to the right place, he's in command. I think the overall package tonight, you can see he went back to the chalkboard with Kevin Rogers and regained his confidence and focus.
Marcus on that quarterback sweep takes it to verse 17. We'll have third down, about 5 coming up. Kevin Rogers is the quarterback coach, stints prior at Notre Dame and Syracuse.
As offensive coordinator at those two schools. Mike, if I'm Brian Steinspring, who's the offensive coordinator here at Virginia Tech, one area that they're going to want to make sure they shore up before the Miami Hurricanes come to town next Saturday night, and another primetime game for ESPN next Saturday, is the red zone. They have not looked very efficient in the red zone these last 2 weeks. We'll see if they do any better on this series.
3rd and 5, a designed Vick run. He bounces it to the outside, and he's brought down shy of the first down. Ricky Brown in pursuit makes the play, and we'll have another field goal attempt coming.
Yep.
So this will be what?
8 of 9 possessions now. Virginia Tech has been able to move into Boston College territory, and right now 23 points and looking for 26.
7 times in the red zone with 2 field goals and 2 touchdowns. The turnover, and Pace trying to make it a 4th field goal. His second 31-yarder of the quarter is missed, and Boston College maintains the 13-point deficit. 8:41 left. The Eagles still alive, despite Vick and a good drive.
This guy just went to 5 bowl games in 1 week. Of course, he forgot his sunscreen for the first 2 and lost his voice by the 4th game. The worst part of all, his girlfriend dumped him when he got back because he didn't tell her he was going in the first place. So tell me, was it worth it? Oh yeah! Enter to win Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour, and you and 3 friends could be headed to 5 bowl games in 1 week on a private jet. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. Who knows? This could be you.
How'd you learn to pour like that?
It was nothing.
Put on side, no good. Put on center, the release combination and aroma. Again! 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 Pour down center.
ESPN College Game Day.
It don't get any better than this.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
Please stay tuned for the following public announcement. The government and private banks are liquidating foreclosed homes now. These homes must be sold. Properties may be sold for low or no down payment. For current foreclosure listings, call this toll-free number now. I repeat, this is a public announcement. Government and private bank foreclosures are currently being liquidated. Call toll-free now for the most current foreclosure listings.
Three climate zones.
How's he doing back there?
3 rows of seats, so everyone can travel in comfort.
He's fine.
The all-new 7-passenger Jeep Commander. It's your world. Take command.
Boston College is the rookie in the Atlantic Coast Conference, the 12th member added last year. They had a big celebration up on Chestnut Hill when Florida State came in to welcome them to the conference. It's a very similar game, 11-point game that Florida State had the early lead and BC was going uphill. The difference is in that game, BC controlled the ball the whole game. Here, completely opposite. Virginia Tech has run 32 more plays, but the Eagles are still in it. Porter is sacked, and a flag comes down with it as Darryl Tapp met at the quarterback with Carlton Powell.
Darryl Tapp and Carlton Powell were there for the Hokies.
You would think that the flag is a hold on BC, but let's check what the call is.
Probably procedure. I think they blew the whistle before.
No play.
Oh, did they? Okay, I'm sorry.
Prior to the snap, false start, 85, offense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
That's Ryan Thompson, the sophomore from Akron, Ohio.
Mike, Quentin Porter at this point in the game, they're obviously going to have to throw. But Will Blackman or Larry Lester are going to have to make a play. Not only downfield, but make a catch, make somebody miss, and pick up some big yards, or try to get the ball to one of your backs, see if they can make a play.
Very loud down here. There's the quick hit to Lester. Can he make one man miss? Well, he could, but there are 5 over there. Gain of 3. Reese Davis, Sports Center, 30-30.
All right, my Broncos offensive lineman, former tight end Dwayne Carswell, in critical but stable condition. He was injured in a car crash on his way to team headquarters today. Had internal injuries. They removed his spleen. His prognosis is excellent, but he's going to miss the season. Grant Hill is going to miss 3 to 6 weeks when the NBA season starts. He has a sports hernia that needs surgery. Sports Center after the game, ESPN News all the time.
Thank you, Reese. Here's second and 11. Late for Lester, who got popped as the pass was incomplete. Jimmy Williams beat for a touchdown tonight, but an excellent cover corner made the stick. We'll have third down coming up. Lester's up and okay.
You know, Jimmy Williams upset about giving up the touchdown earlier in the game to Will Blackman. He's been looking for an opportunity to hit somebody, and he takes it out on Larry Lester. 6'3", 210-pound corner. Hits like a safety. In fact, his position in the next level will probably be a safety nickelback kind of player with the ability to also cover a man.
Third down. Porter blitz, sack. Darryl Tapp put Porter into the turf, and Quentin is shaken up.
Boy, oh boy.
He gets up. He's walking back over there.
Mike, you cannot have any miscues up front. Chris Miller, the tight end, does a little wave to Darryl Tapp. Keep in mind, Darryl Tapp's your biggest threat. You have to be aware and account for number 55. First thing you're saying when you break the huddle is, where's 5-5? The tight end, miscommunication with the offensive line and the running backs. Just did a little bit of an ole. Darryl Tapp came clean. And when Quentin Porter didn't even see him closing in on him.
2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. BC didn't have enough people on the field. Thus, they take a timeout halfway through the 4th.
Coming up on SportsCenter, what Michael Vick did to help turn brother Marcus's life around, how the Dogs can down the Gators for just the 3rd time in the last 16 tries, and we go in search of the baseball that ended 88 years of White Sox frustration. SportsCenter right after the game.
You love the NFL. You live for the NFL. And ESPN News is your never-ending source for NFL news, highlights, scores, and stats. All things NFL 24/7. Find it at ESPN News.
I can be soft sometimes, dramatic other times, thrifty all the time.
You can at the Home Depot. Walk through our lighting and ceiling fan showroom. You'll find an endless selection of unique designs by Hampton Bay, as well as the know-how to make your new look come together. And with 20 to 30% off select styles, now is the time to shed a new light on your decor.
At the Home Depot, you can do it, we can help.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Hey, Mambo!
Something tasty's going on. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
The bankers of JP Morgan partner with clients to help bring ideas to life. Like Telecom Italia's idea to connect people in new ways. JP Morgan's commitment to long-term relationships help make that vision a reality. We fuel ideas for companies worldwide with intelligence, insight, and capital. Because we never underestimate the power of an idea to change us all. JP Morgan Chase.
Warning. Use caution when wearing TAG body spray in the vicinity of a multi-hottie pet pyramid, because cheerleaders can be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Introducing TAG body spray for guys. Consider yourself warned.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Cooper Tires Ultimate Bowl Tour. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter. And in part by smooth and refreshing Bud Light. Great taste for your great times.
Where else do they get this excited for a punt? Fourth down. And the BC punter's been terrific all game. Eddie Royal from the 40. Well covered. Loss of 4. Brian Toll has proven why Virginia Tech was interested in him, why he was such a great get for Boston College as well. He was the only one down there, made the play. Let's show you the Bowl Championship Series standings brought to you by Allstate. Texas jumped USC, sent a lot of people in a panic. Herbie will tell us why you shouldn't panic just yet. Virginia Tech fans, you may want to panic. Same thing with Georgia, Bama, UCLA. Whatever happens, it might not be enough to jump those teams when all is said and done. There you see the rest of the top 10 as we have the second set of BCS standings here for 2005. Marcus Vick to the air on first down. Safe throw to Kinter, the tight end. Gains 3 to about the 43. You were on Monday. Go back over why people should be so uptight that Texas and USC flip-flop this week.
Because the BCS standings, as frustrating as they are, they're not made to give you an accurate reading in late October or early or even mid-November. Let the schedule play out. Let the computers and let the pollsters be able to evaluate the teams, and then you're going to get a more accurate reading in early December. The thing I want to say right now is that the system is terrible. We need a +1 system. When nobody even talks about Alabama or Georgia potentially running the table, what if you have 4 teams left? 4 teams undefeated. You're going to have 2 teams left on the outside looking in.
Cedric Humes with the carry. He only gets a yard or so. A third, about 5 coming up.
Everybody's talking about Virginia Tech being left out. What about the SEC going 2 straight years of having a team potentially 12-0 and not being in the mix? That, to me, is ridiculous. It always comes down to 3 or 4. The presidents need to listen to the fans, to the coaches, to the players. The +1 needs to be implemented. It's the end of the story, and then you won't have this chaos. It won't matter who's 3 or 2 or 4.
We should just remind people what you mean by +1. After the bowl game, take the top 4 teams, play them within the structure that's there now,
right.
Then have one more game a week later to determine the winner of those two games between the 4 best teams. 3rd and 5, Vick throws for Humes. They pick up another first down. They are 8 of 14 on 3rd down tonight. So when BC has needed to get them off the field, they have not.
Well, they've been on the field all night tonight. You know, Tommy Tuberville came out this week and was very upset and kind of attacked ESPN. And I had a chance to talk with him this afternoon. And I really feel his intentions were really aimed at this system. It came across that it was at ESPN, but I think now that he's had a chance and talking to him, you could really tell that he's upset about the system, the potential of Virginia Tech maybe being left out, maybe in Alabama or a Georgia this year being left out. What happened to him last year, I think, was the brunt of his frustrations. But the reason I say Texas, everybody relax. Texas will eventually settle back down to number 2. USC, Mike, assuming everybody wins out, USC will go back up to number 1. They still have to play Cal, who's got a great record. They still have potentially a 9-1 or a 10-0 UCLA. Notre Dame's going to run the table. They're going to finish 9-2.
They still have to beat Tennessee.
But I'm just saying, eventually, SC will go to 1. The real argument in early December is going to be, what about Virginia Tech and Texas? What's your feeling on who should be that second team, Virginia Tech or Texas? That's where you're going to find the biggest argument, in my opinion, by the time we get to early December.
Matthias Kiwanuka on that last play was slow to get up. And we're watching Kiwanuka walk over back to the BC sideline. There in the Virginia Tech lounge area, they've got this nice, beautiful trophy case waiting for a championship trophy. They played in the title game, Frank Beamer's team, down in the Sugar Bowl after the '99 season, Michael Vick's freshman season, one of the most entertaining games against Florida State. Went back to the Nokia Sugar Bowl last year and played very closely that undefeated Auburn team that, as Tommy Tuberville joked then, nobody wanted to name them national championship. All somebody had to do is say that they are champion. They'd claim it, and Golf Digest was his joke. And Golf Digest sent them a cover, said national champions. But we could be in the same situation again.
All I can tell you is
Humes carries for 3, 3rd and 2.5 coming up.
The reason the debate is going to be between Texas and Virginia Tech, because in the second half of the season, Virginia Tech beat Boston College tonight. They have a chance against Miami next Saturday night. They still have Virginia to play, and more than likely play Florida State in the ACC title. And while they're playing that, being the toughest part of their schedule, Texas will be playing Oklahoma State, Baylor, Kansas, Texas A&M, and probably Colorado in the Big 12 championship game. It's probably unrealistic, but it's going to become very close to see if Texas and Virginia Tech, who ends up winning out. My thought right now will be it'll be USC and Texas based on our system being in the Rose Bowl playing for the title.
Third down throw. Tight squeeze for Royal, who was well covered by Dewan Tribble. It's incomplete. From the 43-yard line, they'll probably punt the ball away here with 3.5 to go. Frank Beamer doesn't talk about the BCS very often. He did address it this week, saying quite simply, if you're going to get through all those games Kirk talked about, and North Carolina, that's another game still on the Virginia Tech schedule, and the computer didn't go ring-a-ding-ding, meaning move Virginia Tech up toward the top in the championship game, well, then I think it's going to happen. He's trying to say, I think it's going to happen, that we'll get there if we do all the business that we talked about.
But for people that don't understand the BCS standings, the Harris poll and the coaches poll account for 2/3 of the BCS standings. That's why when you're number 1 within the polls and number 2 within the polls, the human polls, it's so tough for Virginia Tech to make all that ground up just in strength of schedule and just with the computers. Even though
that's what happened this week with Texas.
Right.
To simply explain it, if you're packing, and you're packing a huge book like that ESPN College Football Encyclopedia.
What a great book that is.
And your bathing suit and your socks.
Yeah.
The encyclopedia weighs more, a lot more. So even though it's 1/3 book, 1/3 socks, 1/3 other stuff, the weight of the book is going to bring it down eventually. Porter sacked again for the 3rd time by Tapp. No, it's a pick. It's a touchdown. He was on his way down. Tapp had control of him, but it becomes an interception and a touchdown for the Hokies. Vince Hall.
They're going to handcuff him and carry him off? Nope. He doesn't play that game. Vince Hall's a linebacker. Chris Ellis did that earlier this year after an interception against Georgia Tech. What a big night for Darryl Tapp, especially in this 4th quarter. Quentin Porter has remained composed throughout a frustrating night. He's not made the silly mistake. Virginia Tech has built a reputation on taking advantage of these kind of situations. You knew it was a matter of time. When would it happen? And it happens at 3:16 to go. They finally get the big interception, return it for a touchdown.
They've made their name with the special teams and the defense. That's a lot of scores in the 19 years that Frank Beamer has been the head coach at Virginia Tech. 30-10. Porter should have just held on to this ball, obviously.
Well, this time, at least they have an offensive tackle going up against Darryl Tapp. The problem is Trueblood can't handle the power. I thought it was interesting. Darryl Tapp told us yesterday with his eyes all lit up saying, this is a week I can use the bull rush because this offensive line is so confident that I don't have to just use my speed rush around the edge. I can also try to run right through them and mix up my looks. Look at his lower half of his body. He has got tremendous power. It's not just about his speed. He's one of the hardest working players in the weight room, which is saying a lot when you play at Virginia Tech.
And the touchdown for Vince Hall, the sophomore out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Second time this year that Hall has an interception for a touchdown to make it a 20-point margin with 3:16 to go.
Vince Hall plays next to Xavier Adibi. They're both sophomores. James Anderson, the senior. All three of them lead the team in tackles, 1, 2, and 3. Adibi gets most of the attention, but I get a sense when you get around the players, you get around the coaches, Vince Hall is kind of the glue that keeps not only the linebackers together, but the entire defense in that front seven. And for a young sophomore, that is a big responsibility, and he does a good job of it every week for the Hokies.
Judd Dunleavy takes over the kickoff duties and gets a nice response. No return. Drive starts from the 20-yard line. Well, we showed you that it was touchdown 100, not by the offense in Frank Beamer's career as the head coach here. He's our Applebee's hometown hero tonight. He's from this state and has, I don't want to say solely, but pretty darn close to solely become responsible for turning this place into one of the magical football places in the sport. I mean, as we showed you that picture earlier, these were 2 grandstands a while ago. Now new end, new suites, new press box level, new quarterback, Matthew Ryan in the game for Boston College. He led the heroics last week to Blackman to the 30, first down.
Well, Blackman had the catch earlier tonight, and Matt Ryan's going to try to get him the football. Will Blackman celebrating a birthday.
How old is he?
Today.
He's 21, I believe, today, he told us. 21st birthday. Nice late October birthday. What's today's date?
My mom's birthday today.
Mom's birthday
October
today.
27th. Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, that should be an incomplete pass. It's incomplete. No play. Incomplete pass. Vince Hall had the biggest stick there. Yeah, just had the interception. On LV Whitworth. Jonathan Lewis was there. A little combo platter. Happy birthday to your mom. I mean, that's very, you rarely are allowed to say those things on TV.
Yeah,
for your mom,
yeah, you can say
those
that
get
for Mom.
suspended. Yes.
Plus, she's
with us.
She's a diehard every week.
She's with
Thursday Night Football.
She's with us at Florida Atlantic. She's with us 3 against 13. Deep ball thrown by the sophomore Ryan. It's like a punt. Intercepted by Justin Hamilton, the former running back. They want to score so bad on defense. He's an old running back. Picked up a block and got tripped up at the 30-yard line.
Now the feeding frenzy was going to come sooner or later. It just happened to come with about 4 minutes to go in the game. Miami Hurricanes, this is what they're going to have to prepare Kyle Wright for. At some point in the game, this is going to happen. It's a night game, hyped up. This defense will look forward to seeing the Canes come in to this stadium. Justin Hamilton, Mike, is great representation of a team player and doing everything asked of him by Frank Beamer. Played running back, played receiver, just to get on the field this year as a senior, moved over to safety.
Brandon Orr with the carry, trying to stay in bounds, out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Our Wrangler 5-star player of the game, Marcus Vick. In addition to the 280 passing, a career high, he ran for 52 and he ran 13 times, so 332 yards. And Kirk, I would add to those impressive stats tonight that they were 8 of 15 on third down, because a lot of them were Michael's younger brother's ability to scramble and move. And we should just point out, by the way, the Falcons have the week off, as we said earlier. So for those of you wondering why Michael's up here on a Thursday night, there's no Falcon game this Sunday.
Best game of Marcus Vick's young career was tonight. Not only the numbers, but the way he led his team. And Mike, the one thing I've noticed in watching him last week, where he struggled a bit, throwing some picks, and tonight, same demeanor. You see the same guy. And we were talking to some of the players and coaches about, what he worked on this week and what was he thinking? Was he upset? They said, to be honest, he's the same guy in the huddle last week as he's been all year. And I'm guessing tonight he's been the same guy in the huddle as he was last week. That's a great trait to have as a young quarterback making your 8th career start.
He's a young quarterback by playing experience, but he's been exposed to so much. The hype, redshirting, being here and playing as a freshman, and then sitting out last year. A flag is down as Orr turns the corner, put the shoulder down, took a man down, and brought it down to the 10.
Back at the 26-yard line.
Taji Marsu got hit again. That's the guy who got hurdled earlier by John Kinzer in the third quarter. Coming back.
Can we just show that run one more time? Just to give you a glimpse of the future of Virginia Tech offense?
The hurdle or that run right there?
The run right there.
Okay.
Just how he lowers his shoulder and the speed that he has here. This young man is going to be a great running back at Virginia Tech. I know he had a fumble earlier, but next year, when Emo and Cedric Humes move on, it is Brandon Orr's time as a sophomore next year to shine. And even this year, he's still going to get opportunities to play.
Remind you, SportsCenter's on the way. Stuart Scott Van Pelt. More on the Michael and Marcus Vick connection beyond the common last name. A preview of the Dogs and Gators. And where's the ball? What happened to the ball after the final out for the White Sox last night? SportsCenter coming up after the game. George Bell, that other freshman back with the carry, gained 6 yards. Remember the whole fiasco last year, what happened with the Red Sox baseball? Doug Mankiewicz caught it at first base. This is not the ball.
I was going to say, Marty Aronoff brought this back with him from Chicago.
Our stat man, Marty Aronoff, who worked the World Series for our ESPN International. That is not the actual ball from the last out. It is a cheesy prop, to be very honest.
Yeah.
That's a little beat up. However, SportsCenter will have a continuing saga of where the ball went after the last out. That was a fun watch last night, the White Sox winning a 1-0 game.
Not so much.
Was it fun?
No, not really. I mean, it was.
Would you have rather the World Series be on opposite our game?
No, I'm glad it's over.
Okay.
I'm glad it's over. White Sox turn out to be one of the best teams we've seen in, what do you think, the last, since 99, 98,
within
99?
Its own season.
Yeah,
exactly.
Great team.
Yep. Virginia Tech on top here, 30-10, with 1:05 remaining, on their way to 8-0.
It's time now for your chance to win one of 100 Philips HD TVs with DirecTV service for a year. Log on to 100yardblitz.com to enter. The code word is turkey leg.
Turkey leg, why? Well, the Hokies, the Gobblers, and there's a turkey leg stand way over there in the far side at this stadium. Punting time for the Hokies here in the final minute. Almost downed inside the 3-yard line by Roland Minor, but it's a touchback, and BC takes over at the 20. There is the famed giant smoked turkey leg stand. There's always smoke wafting from that. I guess it would be the northeast corner of the stadium here.
Some great tailgating here, huh? You get a chance to get out there and partake?
You did?
Did you?
No. I was up here.
You barreled up this morning and
had a good breakfast, that's for sure. Michigan Northwestern. What do you think about the game here Saturday on ESPN HD, 7 Eastern?
I think we're going to see a lot of points. Michigan has impressed me the last 2 weeks after the loss to Minnesota. Northwestern is legitimate with Bazinez and Sutton. Could be one of those games that goes back and forth. What was the year where Michigan went to Evanston and had a game that seemed to go on forever? It was like a 51-48 final. Was it 98 or 99?
5 years ago now. That's 5 years ago. Here's Brett Brasney, the quarterback.
Randy Walker, one of the more underrated offensive minds. Everybody talks about a spread. If you haven't seen Northwestern yet, you're not going to see great skill on the perimeter. Where you are going to see tremendous execution is the quarterback and the running back. They'll spread you out and they'll run. And if you overcommit to Tyrell Sutton, they'll spread you out and they can throw. It's a great system and very, very explosive for Randy Walker.
Matthew Ryan throws incomplete. We'll have a third down coming up. 34 seconds until SportsCenter. It'll be interesting to see if Michael Hart is healthy. That's one of the big issues for Michigan. This was earlier. They seriously tailgate here. Look at that.
Ooh, wow. That is some work there.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday, I'm going to have
Next Saturday, you better find
saddle
that.
up there.
That's right. With Corso and
Game day's coming in here next week.
It should be, right?
Yeah.
Miami.
I'll give it the stamp here. Yeah, I think that's.
Oh, you're doing that now?
Yeah.
You've ascended to that college football throne. Oh, Fowler, he's out of control. Here is the run just to run the clock, and it's a first down picked up here by Collender, and that should just about do it. We will be right back with you as soon as SportsCenter begins to recap and talk about this Virginia Tech team continuing to make its statement to everyone who watches that maybe you should consider us with Texas. You saw Texas in person. You've seen Virginia Tech now twice in person. When we come back on SportsCenter, I'll get your opinion of.
That's a great tease.
You think?
Yeah.
You can keep these kind of quiet. Just kind of.
How about your Syracuse team, by the way?
Boston College will be 6-2. The Eagles were denied the outright Big East championship, but lost to Syracuse at the end of last year. They will have a very hard time winning the ACC championship now as they get a second conference loss here tonight. Michael Vick came to see it. Marcus Vick had as good and as complete a game as he's had in his college quarterbacking career. And the Virginia Tech Hokies remain undefeated in their quest for a perfect season. They're 8-0. Our final score tonight, Virginia Tech 30, Boston College 10. With Aaron Andrews and Kirk Herbstreit, Mike Tirico. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. See you on the other side on SportsCenter, starting now.
One kick, $1 million.
This is SportsCenter.
A winner on Thursday, Marcus Vick on his past problems and why the future is so shiny bright. Eli Manning has the G-Men offense singing how New York's second-year QB is finding success. Plus,
a ground ball past Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! Out! A White Sox winner and a world championship. The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field.
it was the last out, and there was celebration for the Sox, but who has the game ball? We investigate on SportsCenter.
Those Hokies so tough to beat on a Thursday night, and they've got number 5 doing his thing. Second quarter, BC a surprising lead. They hand it off to the dangerous wideout, Eddie Royal. He's too quick to the corner, and Virginia Tech back on top, 13-7. They don't look back. Later in the quarter, Vick, so efficient. A career-high throwing in this one, and he hits Josh Morgan. It's all Virginia Tech. That's my baby. They don't look back in the second half. The Hokies get a touchdown, a non-offensive touchdown for the 100th time under Frank Beamer. 12-1 they are on Thursday nights. Last week, Mike Tirico and Kirk Herbstreit, they saw Virginia Tech win in College Park, and Vick was doing it on the ground. This time he's doing it through the air. Fellas, how good is this Virginia Tech outfit?
Darn good. Won by 19 on the road, 20 against a better team at home. More from Herbie in a second. First live to the field, and Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
I got you. All right, guys, joined right now by Frank Beamer, and we'll hear shortly from Darryl Tapp. Coach, these kind of games are statement games. What did Virginia Tech, what kind of statement did you make tonight?
Well, we missed a couple opportunities, but I'm telling you this, I'm proud of this football team. Our defense kind of took it over there at the end against a good football team. At Boston College, no, they're tough. They're good. They're well coached. We beat a good football team and kind of took it over at the end, and I think that's a confidence builder.
You mentioned the defense, but the offense is what got it going. Marcus, I know, very disappointed in the mistakes he did last week versus Maryland. What kind of changes, what adjustments did he make this week?
He made some big first down runs for us and some big first down throws for us. And we caught a couple of balls that weren't exactly perfect, but our receivers caught them. I thought it was some really good things to draw from in this football game. And again, we beat a good football team.
You certainly did. Thanks, Coach. Congratulations. Over to Darryl Tapp. 2 sacks for you and a forced fumble. You had told me yesterday this BC offense is one of the best that you'd faced this season, but how were you able to manhandle them so well?
We was able to put them in some bad situations and capitalize on them. Honestly, great team, a lot of potential, but we just had our night tonight.
And last week when we talked to you versus Maryland, you guys had said both the offense and the defense feed off of each other so much. How much did that play into tonight?
Played a lot. You know, those guys on offense are working hard, and when they mess up or slip up, you got to have their back, and vice versa. You know, it's a team concept, and you got to believe it wholeheartedly.
Well, great job by you. Thank you. Mike, back up to you.
Aaron, thank you. I'll start with what Aaron started with Frank Beamer. Number 5, Marcus Vick. Obviously, 55 was the defensive guy, and 5 was the offensive MVP. He's the one who you come into the tent to see, and he put on a circus-like performance.
Well, again, we saw him tonight finally be able to settle in and go up against a good opponent and make some great decisions. And you could see it very early in this game that he was going to have that kind of night. He ended up 22 of 28, but he was effective in everything he did, whether it was checking to a run, rolling around, throwing the football from different spots in the pocket, showing his athletic ability at times. He was just in command tonight and much more in sync, I think, for a guy who last week struggled throwing the football. And the thing that I noticed, and the reason I felt he was going to have a big night, is he was throwing the ball on time. He was getting back and getting rid of the football, and that's something that last week we did not see. So he found his rhythm early, and he was able to run and throw very effectively.
He was 22 of 28, spread it out to 7 different receivers, ran it, made decisions on third down. Their conversion was over 50%. As Frank Beamer said, the only thing they didn't do was execute better in the red zone. You might not get as many chances against Miami. That's the next game in 9 days here on ESPN. Now, the bigger picture. You've seen Texas in person within the last week and seen Virginia Tech on both sides on Thursdays. Who's the better team?
Well, you know, I'll say this. I think Virginia Tech has a better defense because of their front 7. I think they're more athletic, and I think their linebackers are exceptional. I think on the back end, the secondary, it's a toss-up. Overall, I would say Virginia Tech has a better defense. Texas right now has proven more. They went to Columbus and took on Ohio State, and they won that game. The jury for me is still out on Virginia Tech. This is the best team they have played at home. Next week against Miami in this same stadium, Saturday night, we're going to find out a lot more about Marcus Vick. We're going to find out a lot more about Virginia Tech to find out how good they really are against a very athletic and nasty Miami team.
Nothing has changed course to being in position where we were last year, where it becomes like figure skating, where the judges have to decide which is the better performance to see who will be the gold medal and the silver medal performers. Right. It's the shame of the sport, but it's part of the reality and part of the conversation all the way along. Tonight, Scott, plus 20, Virginia Tech wins 30-10 at home to remain unbeaten. Back to you and Stu in the studio.
All right, fellas, travel safely to your next destination. Virginia Tech could become this year's Auburn. They could end up trying to, as Mike Tirico just said, sort of impress the judges. And you compare the road that each has the rest of the way, and it might favor Virginia Tech because they get a chance to play a number 6 ranked team in Miami that Kirk just talked about. Meanwhile, Texas doesn't play a ranked team. They might not play a ranked team in the Big 12 title game, whereas Virginia Tech could face, theoretically, a ranked Florida State team. So still a lot to be sorted out as it relates to 2 and 3 in the BCS as we speak.
Staying with Virginia Tech, you know, we always think the word legacy conjures up good thoughts, that royal bloodlines mean an easy ticket. Unless you actually walk in those shoes, only then can you empathize, visualize, realize the depth of pressure associated with playing the same position at the same school your big brother did. Your NFL Pro Bowl big brother. Your big brother whose 5 career 100-yard rushing games were the most ever by a quarterback in NFL history. Your big brother who you turned to when you ran afoul of the criminal justice system. Joe Schad on being Marcus Vick.
Once the chants were tame, like you're no Michael or you're adopted. Now, they're just plain mean.
They said I was a pedophile or something like that, but you know, when I hear those things, I'm thinking, hey, I'm just about to take this, everything you're saying about me, I'm gonna take it out on your team.
But last year, Marcus Vick was convicted of delinquency of a minor for an incident involving alcohol and underage girls. Then he's charged with reckless driving and possession of marijuana, leading Virginia Tech to suspend him for the entire 2004 season. After a second set of headlines, Marcus received a call from Michael, his older brother, an NFL superstar and former Hokie.
He just wanted to know what happened, and I told him that I was sorry for embarrassing our name and things like that, and I told him once I get back that, hey, I'm not gonna ever let him down.
Marcus moved into Michael's home in Atlanta, where he got a sense of the NFL lifestyle as well as some advice.
Just to slow down. I don't have to jump in my car at 9 o'clock in the morning and come back home at 3 o'clock in the a.m. You know, it's okay to stay in the house.
Teammates say Vick led summer drills and that he's finally relaxed. Now Virginia Tech ranks 3rd in the nation, and Vick says he's fueled by people's perception of him.
I truly do believe people do think he's going to mess up. He told us, hey, you know, I'm here to stay. I ain't going nowhere, so, and I believe it.
But some feared Marcus took a step back earlier this month when he gave hostile fans at West Virginia a middle finger salute. He quickly apologized.
Marcus out on the field, and he's cool and calm, but you know what I mean, you push the right button sometimes. He's a feisty guy at the same time.
Comparisons with Michael are unavoidable, and really compounded by the fact that the Falcons QB himself says Marcus is a better passer and player.
My brother's 10 times better than me. I just feel like he has uncanny ability, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very excited about it.
Vic is eligible for the NFL draft after this season, even though he's starting for the first time in 4 years. Now, Marcus makes his way to Michael Vick Hall, a constant reminder of who he is and how he wants to be remembered.
Just as a guy that, you know, got himself into trouble early and found a way to bounce back from it. Didn't let people keep him down. Got back up.
Joe Shad, thanks a lot. Let's compare the Vick brothers. You know, they're brothers and they're brothers. Right. In their first 8 starts, Marcus more passing yards, more touchdown passes. Michael, of course, more rushing yards and more rushing touchdowns. But the bottom line, and the most basic and most important bottom line, both Vicks started 8-0 in their first 8 starts.
Denver offensive lineman Dwayne Carswell is in critical but stable condition after he was involved in a 5-car accident this morning in suburban Denver. His injuries include a contusion of his entire left internal cavity, multiple rib fractures, a ruptured diaphragm, and a ruptured spleen. He underwent 5 hours of surgery that his head coach Mike Shanahan said, and I quote, went as well as it could possibly go, but the man his teammates call House won't return this season. Said fellow lineman George Foster, you just pray for the best. That's all that you can do now.
Still ahead, coming up inside Sports Center, can the Georgia Bulldogs down the Gators for just the 3rd time in the last 16 tries? Mark May reveals what they have to do to stay undefeated. The Eagles D completely shut down LT last week. Will the Chiefs' improved defense have the same result this Sunday against the Bolts? Plus, baseball's big names looking to make big plans this offseason. Which major leaguers could be on the move and who could be ready to pack it in? Sports Center rolling back in 60. Clock ticks.
There's a change taking place, a wave of self-expression, and it's being driven by people with a vision to live life not by some rule book, but on their own terms. Star Motorcycles. We build it. You make it your own. Exclusively at your Yamaha dealer.
Prepare for the sequel to the best-selling Star Wars game of all time. Fight as a Jedi. Fight in space. Fight the battles any way you want. Star Wars Battlefront 2 on Tuesday. You fight again. Rated teen.
So it's Linda and Dean?
Right. And don't stare at Aunt Sue's mole.
I got it.
Sometimes what you need after your holiday vacation
Hi, Aunt Mole.
is a vacation. Book it on Expedia now and save $150 on a trip next year.
Expedia.com.
Sports Center, brought to you by Star Motorcycles from Yamaha. We build it. You make it your own.
It is looking more and more like Teddy Bruschi will not only play this week against Buffalo, he might even be the starter. Chad Brown told the Boston Herald, today my job is to back up Teddy Bruschi. With Bill Belichick, you won't know for sure until Sunday. Mark Schlereth, if he plays, what's the impact of the return of number 54?
Teddy Bruschi is going to have an incredible impact for the New England Patriots this weekend, even if he doesn't get to play, even if he doesn't see the field. Now, I believe you'll see him in some nickel situations. I believe they'll sprinkle him in on some special team situations. But just having your emotional leader back on the football field is going to give everybody a spark. Teddy Bruschi and the way he plays a game transcends the team. Everybody has to rise up to Teddy Bruschi's level. He's going to be so energized and so enthusiastic on the sideline that he is going to have a very positive effect for this New England Patriots team. Look for them to take their leader's ambition and his desire and go out there and have a great game.
At first glance, the Patriots' remaining schedule looks awfully weak, but in the NFL from week to week, what do you really know? They do have 7 games against teams currently under 500, including 6 within their division, which is woeful. However, among the 3 winning teams, you got the unbeaten Colts, tough road game as always at Arrowhead against the Chiefs, and a very strong Buccaneer team.
A ground ball past Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! Out! A White Sox winner and a world championship. The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field. This is as good as it gets. The Sox are world champions in Chicago. Go crazy.
Last time a Chicago baseball team had a parade for a world champion, I think Annie Oakley led the cavalry through State Street on Trigger's back. By bookending a season-opening 1-0 victory with the World Series Get Out the Broom Game 4 Sweep 'em Up 1-0 victory, the White Sox erased the curse of the Black Sox. Get ready, LaSalle Street downtown. Get ready, Jackson Street going down to Wacker. A double-decker motorcade is planned for tomorrow. Today, the world champ simply came home. Rachel Nichols was in the Windy City.
After decades of being the other team, the White Sox came back to town Thursday to find that Chicago finally was theirs. Sox hats, Sox flags, and fans lining up to grab anything that proved the team's first World Series win in 88 years wasn't just a dream.
It's been crazy. I haven't slept. I've been going to work, but I'm still here working and just watching the game and just really excited.
I've lived up in Alaska, Eagle River, Alaska, 29 years. As soon as I found out the Sox were going to be in this, I said, book me a ticket, I'm there.
Just seeing the morning headlines proved an elixir for Sox fans who've waited so long. And no one understands that better than team owner Jerry Reinsdorf. Before leaving Houston, Reinsdorf said the championship means Chicago's Sox fans will be ridiculed no longer.
It means they're the champions. It means the Chicago White Sox fans of Chicago are champions of the world. It means that every other team in baseball has gone longer than we have since they won the World Series.
Red Sox, Yankees, and now it's our turn, and it's just great. It's just unbelievable. You know, it's been so long, and it's just awesome.
I was a Cubs fan since 1932, and that now. I'm a White Sox fan now, as about 3 weeks ago.
There were such defections in several spots around the city, including just a block from Wrigley Field, where they're now selling Sox merchandise.
I think it's pretty plastic. I don't think it's legit, and I think it's blasphemy as far as I'm concerned.
They won it. I mean, it doesn't get a lot better than that. The Cubs haven't won it in 97-something years. I don't know. It's kind of hard to be a Cubs fan these days.
Of course, now that the White Sox and the Red Sox have dismissed the ghosts of their long-suffering past, it's Chicago's Cubs fans who stand alone, still dealing with nearly a century of angst. But the White Sox fans in this town don't seem so sympathetic. Just a day after winning the series, they're already talking about winning it again next year. In Chicago, I'm Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
Rachel, thank you. They say the White Sox played small ball, but really didn't make a whole lot of sense. Kids hit 200 balls out of the ballpark during the season. We can go back from the videotape of all 200 homers and see where the ball ended up. Not so easy, Agent 99, with the latest from World Series Gate.
The ball's gone missing.
What?
The ball's missing, Stuart. And after last year's brouhaha involving the Red Sox and Doug Minkiewicz over exactly who the final out ball belonged to, we now have no clue where last night's ball even is, and now, like Leonard Nimoy, we go in search of, but not Sasquatch. In search of the ball. All right, here's what you got. You got Juan Uribe. Great play. Konerko's got the ball final out. We know the ball's in his glove, but from there, well.
Well, Special Agent Van Pelt, things aren't really clear. Theories abound, like Konerko at the mound during the celebration. You see him, right?
Okay, well, watch closely. It's possible he could have handed the ball to Dustin Hermanson during the chaos. Watch Hermanson back away from embracing Konerko. Hermanson's hands hidden from view, possibly holding the baseball.
But Inspector Van Pelt, more evidence moments later, an extreme close-up of Konerko's glove. There is no ball, Inspector, no ball.
Maybe Konerko did keep it. Look behind Jermaine Dye, this extreme close-up. There's a white blob in Konerko's glove, Stuart, a white blob.
But it's just a blob. Look at Ozzie Guillen. He may be saying, look, there's the ball right there. Or maybe saying what's up to his peeps.
We ask you, because clearly we had nothing better to do all day but think about really relevant things like this. Where's the baseball from the last out of the World Series? And there are these selections. Al Capone's vault, Steve Bartman's house. It says Wiener House. It's Wiener Circle. Wiener Circle in Chicago. Wiener Circle, Cheddar Char Dogs, or Doug Minkiewicz has it. Log on. What do you think?
I think it's in Bartman's Walkman. That's what I think.
It's in Wiener Circle, I think.
Final winless team in the NHL, the Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby-led Penguins against the Thrashers. Only winless team in the NHL. First period. Penguins already down 3-0. Thrashers power tripping Ilya Kovalchuk to Nicholas Havlat, who lights the lamp. Thrashers up 4-0. Last comeback from a 4-goal deficit, December 7th, 1995, a decade ago. Under 30 seconds left, Penguins down 4-1. Mario Lemieux rocked kids to sleep. He'd have a 5-point night, 2 goals, 3 assists. Second period, Penguins down 4-2 on the power play. Sergei Gonchar, slapper from Recchi. Penguins now trail 4-3. Atlanta becomes the 4th team in NHL history to use 5 different starting goalies in a 10-game span. And then Sidney Crosby to Sergei Gonchar, his second of the night. Gonchar's 18th career multi-goal game. We're tied at 4. 31 seconds later, Penguins power tripping. LeClaire, holla at your boy. Penguins tied a franchise record with 6 power play goals. They finally get a W. Penguins win it 7-5. Mario Lemieux with those 2 goals and 3 assists Thursday had his 51st career 5-point game. That trails only the brother named Gretzky, but is 32 more than Phil Esposito, who is 3rd in this list.
Stuart, the Red Wings were not supposed to be quite so good this year. Well, they're 9-1.
That's
Steve
good.
Yzerman, first home game, taking on the Blackhawks from Chicago, home of Wiener Circle. Manny Legacy cannot be beaten. 2 huge saves on Curtis Brown, trying to become the first goalie to win 10 games in October. Late in the third, Red Wings up 3-2. Yzerman dumps it in. And it's Khabibulin, otherwise known as Khabibulin. What is he going to do? I mean, that just took a kooky bounce there. Chris Draper, Johnny on the spot. One more look. Khabibulin, it just takes the bounce sideways. Oh. That's just bad luck. And there comes Draper flying in. Red Wings going to win at 5-2. Legacy, like I said, NHL record. Most wins in the month of 10 with 10.
Still up, Virginia Tech has survived, but can them kids remain undefeated? Can the remaining unbeatens make it through this Saturday's test? Up next, the roads they face. And as they face off on Sunday, which QB would you choose to lead your team the rest of this season? Future Hall of Famer Brett Favre or Carson Palmer? Our expert reveals his choice.
Breakdown, brought to you by McDonald's. Tomorrow, if it's adventure you're looking for, if it's fun you're asking for, he's the one man, Zorro. You've been waiting for. Gracias. The Legend of Zorro. Rated PG. Opens everywhere tomorrow.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Mambo Italiano, you must go. Cause something tasty's going on. Oh, Applebee's will thrill you with some food right off the grill.
With so much Italian flavor, Applebee's Italian style will make your taste buds dance.
Mambo Italiano, don't be slow. Cause soon it will be gone. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
There are always new races to be run, new challenges to be met. But success still comes from having a plan and the courage to follow it. And it's easier to reach your goals when you have talented people on your side. These principles are the keys to investment performance, today and tomorrow. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Carefully consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Call your advisor for a prospectus with this and other fund information. Read it carefully before.
Ever feel like your entertainment choices are a little empty? Start filling that entertainment void with Stars from Dish Network. When you order Stars, you get 8 movie channels featuring over 350 different movies each month, which means no matter what mood you're in, no matter what time it is, you'll always find a great movie on Stars. Let's say you're in the mood for an action flick. Or maybe somebody at your house loves a romance. Or it's time to keep the kids entertained. If you have Stars, everybody's happy. There's always something good on Stars. We're talking all-time favorites, as well as box office hits that are only available on Stars. Movies like The Aviator, Hitch, The Incredibles, National Treasure, and The Pacifier. So get rid of that empty feeling. Order Stars and complete your entertainment experience. Visit DishNetwork.com Call 888-DISH-130 or simply pick up your remote and press select now to order Stars.
You are watching SportsCenter on ESPN.
Virginia Tech's 11-1 on Thursday night. The only team that ever beat them, Boston College. Marcus Vick didn't play for them then. They're up 6. And Will Blackman deep, and he catches the Quentin Porter pass. That beats Jimmy Williams. This is a super, super defensive back for Virginia Tech. He talks a whole lot, and when he gets beat, you know somebody's talking to him. That was all BC had to talk about. Here comes Eddie Royal, good receiver. Only had 2 catches in the game, but he does take it to the paint. Gobblers up 6, Hokie high. Next drive, 3rd and 10. Vick finds Josh Hyman, who had 5 grabs, 58 yards, makes a super catch right there. Later in the drive, they're on the 26, and Vick, who used his feet to beat Maryland a week ago on the ground. Here he takes off for 15 yards, and his brother, who was pretty good at Virginia Tech, looking on. Next play, Vick. Maryland coach told me he's like a running back who throws sometimes. Well, this time he ran. Next play.
Brother says he's a better passer than he is.
So that's pretty high praise. 22 of 28 was Vick, finds Josh Morgan. And Mom says, that's my baby.
Who that is?
That's my baby.
My baby.
20-7. 3rd quarter, Hokies lead 20-10. And Vick, who threw for a career-high 280. This is just for fun. He throws to John Kinzer. And look at Big Boy. Big Boy, 6'2", 245. Take one more look as he goes Ronaldo Skeets Nehemiah and does the hurdles. Tech's up 13 in the 4th quarter. They are pulling it away. The nation's #1 leading defense. They only give up 9 points a game, already given up 1 over their average. They decide that's enough of this, and this is a really ill-advised play. Vince Hall with a pick. Virginia Tech is all that and the proverbial bag of chips. They stay unbeaten. As for the other unbeatens, top-ranked USC looks to extend its winning streak to 30. Vegas doesn't think they'll have a problem with that. They're favored by 30. That's against Washington State on ABC. 3:30. Texas favored by more than 5 touchdowns. Maybe the cocktail party is the biggest question mark. That's where Georgia has to figure out a way to stay unbeaten with their backup quarterback, Mark May. Will they do it?
Yes, Georgia will survive on Saturday and beat Florida. The reason why is because of head coach Mark Richt. He'll make sure that his quarterback, Joe Tereshinski, is put in a position to manage the game offensively and win the game for Georgia. Not a lot of pressure on him to throw the ball and have to win the game. He'll rely on his big offensive line of Max Jean Gillis and Danny Ware and Thomas Brown at the running back position to control the clock and keep the ball away from Florida.
The Gators defeated then 4th-ranked Tennessee September the 17th. If they beat #4 Georgia on Saturday, Urban Meyer will become the 4th head coach in Florida history to defeat 2 ranked opponents in his first season. Ron Zook and Galen Hall also beat a ranked Georgia team for their 2nd win.
Bad news for Grant Hill. He will undergo surgery for a sports hernia, miss 3 to 6 weeks. Hill played in 67 games last season to return to that all-star form, averaging better than 19 points, 4 boards, and 3 assists a night. Grant's Magic hosting the Heat in some NBA preseason action. It's all right. His wife, singer, Tamia, will take care of. She's Canadian.
You can take care of me.
Jason Williams, white chocolate to Shaq, dark chocolate. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Shaq gonna get his with Jay Will. Hedo Turkoglu will be Grant Hill's replacement. Steve Francis misses the late. Turkoglu grabs a rebound and floats up for 2. He had 14 in the game, but yo, the Miami Heat are straight strong, y'all. I didn't say strong.
With a C?
I said strong. Jay Will to Dwayne Wade for the rock. Jay Will at 8 dimes, 2nd quarter. Alonzo gets the feed from Jason Capono. Big swole Alonzo, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Heat, 104-90. Remember back in the days of Greg Kite and Ronnie Cycli? Heat Magic?
Game of immense significance. There's Avery Johnson, which we love Avery for so many reasons. Darko Milicic. Darko with the block. Darko running, scoring, 6 blocks, and he's got that bucket. Pistons up 7. 2nd quarter, 3 to go. Arroyo drives, blocked by Dirk Nowitzki, and things get heated. They start talking. Arroyo, who's about 5'0", and Sagana Diop, who's about 9'4". They start lipping. Arroyo eventually gets tossed. 4th quarter, give me all 3 of these. Keith Van Horn.
If I get to the ball outside the arc, you got to shoot the ball.
5-6. Thank you, Stuart. John Vandeveld, who very nearly won the British Open at Carnoustie in 1999, hopes to win the British Open next year at Lytham and St. Anne's. Talking about the Women's British Open. It's his way of protesting the R&A's decision to allow women who finish in the top 5 of any women's major to attempt to qualify for the Men's Open Championship. Said Trish Johnson, a women's player who's played on 6 Solheim Cup teams. John is going to struggle to enter a women's event because he isn't a woman. You have to be a woman to play there. See, here's what John has to say. I'm making a point myself. Aren't the rules the same for everyone? It cannot work only one way. It's a nice joke that women are to be in the open, but now that we have allowed them, to play with us, we must be allowed to play with them. I'm happy to use the ladies' locker room. If that's a requirement, I'll also wear a kilt and shave my legs. That's actually a bit horrifying.
Still up, Eli Manning has led the Giants offense leading the NFL in scoring. Oh, yeah. While the second-year QB's newfound confidence has his receivers fighting to get some attention. And is at the end of the line for two of baseball's biggest names. Are Roger Clemens and Sammy Sosa on the verge of retiring? Our experts weigh in with their look at the upcoming stovetop.
Find out what it feels like when the job you're looking for finds you. Employers search Monster every day. So post your resume and let employers find you.
Buy House of Wax on DVD.
You're not gonna go in, are you?
In the House of Wax, it's not what you see that will scare you. It's what you don't see.
Please, somebody!
House of Wax. Buy it now on DVD.
The new, intimidating Mitsubishi Raider. Available 230-horse V8 and the most towing capacity in its class. Mitsubishi, driven to thrill. And right now, there's only one truck where gas comes standard. Get a 2006 Raider and get a year's worth of gas on us.
Away, down big with only 20 seconds left. T-Mac hits a foul shot.
No, it was home. 15 seconds left.
Away, man.
All right. T-Mac hits the foul shot.
Pop.
Then he gets the ball back, and they double him.
No, they triple him.
But he cuts through them. Dunks. And grabs a stack of quarters off the backboard.
Clock is ticking. He steals the inbound and goes sideline.
They try to stop him, but he's on fire.
Gets to the arc, turns, drains it.
It starts raining.
Not yet, it doesn't.
Seconds left. They bring it up. T-Mac rips the guard.
Like an animal. 3 seconds left. He heads up court.
The whole stadium's against him.
They try everything. He needs a three, though. He needs a three.
But T-Mac rises above it.
Elevates.
Shoots. Left-handed.
Bam! Then it starts raining.
Yeah. That's what happened.
This is as real as it gets. From the people who bring you Discovery Channel, introducing the Military Channel. Go behind the lines.
Upgrade to America's Top 180 today and receive a free Military Channel fleece blanket. Call 1-866-296-6226 or visit dishnetwork.com/military channel.
Let's talk movies. You want them, Starz has them, and not just a few movies either. Try over 350 different movies each month. Imagine choosing from this many movies on Starz. And that's what's on just this month alone. All for less than $12 a month. Plus, Starz has exclusive movies you can't see anywhere else. If you love movies, and I know you do, call now to get Starz. Go to dishnetwork.com, call 888-DISH-130, or simply pick up your remote and press select now to order Starz.
Prior to last week, Pro Bowl linebacker LeVar Arrington had not seen much action. Arrington was, as he said, quote, in the coach's doghouse. Against the Niners, he led the team in tackles. He was killing kids. Michael Irvin sat down with Arrington earlier tonight.
Why were you benched?
Guess I'm not good enough to play, man.
How do you fit in his scheme?
Well, right now I fit in the package that has been put together for me. And that's where I fit in. So I'm like the 12th man, how basketball has the 6th man of the year. I'm like the 12th man, trying to be the 12th man of the year in the NFL.
On Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, you can see the entire Irvin interview with Arrington on NFL Countdown. You will not want to miss that. Promise you that. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Those were the days, and together they are leading the resurrection of the once proud NFC East, the only division in football currently made up entirely of teams over 500. People somehow forget that from 87 to 92, the Redskins and Giants combined to win 4 of the 6 Super Bowls played. Now, back then, Coach Joe and the Skins were more concerned with figuring out how to stop number 56. As Colleen Dominguez explains, this week they must scheme to stop number 10 and Big Blue's big offense.
Long known for their defense, the New York Giants are now getting it done with a potent offense, leading the league in scoring.
It's fun. I mean, it's kind of strange, though. You know, sometimes you got to pinch yourself because, you know, we're doing so much on offense and, you know, spreading the ball around. You know, it's happened a few times around here, but I think this one, I think this offense is going to be good for a long time.
It's great. It's great for those guys to be able to score points and do things that, you know, in the past we probably couldn't count on for us to win. So it's actually a nice change of pace, and, you know, I welcome it.
We're putting pressure on ourselves to live up to that now, you know, and people are putting that expectation on us that, you know, we're scoring points. And, you know, now the test is, now that everybody knows that we're scoring points, can we still do it even though they're trying to stop us?
In his second season, Eli Manning has made this offense his own, and with each snap, he's got plenty of options, creating a newfound confidence.
I think everybody's more comfortable with this offense. A lot of people in their second year, just the offensive line is communicating better, doing a good job of blocking things. Receivers have a better feel of the offense. I'm more comfortable, and everybody's making plays when they have opportunity to.
And when I stand in the huddle and I look around, you know, I feel like I'm in a Pro Bowl huddle. I think defenses get nervous when they see all that talent. You know, I mean, you can't double cover, you can't double guard anybody, and, you know, somebody's going to be open.
We like to think that that's our weapon. That's our advantage that we have to make defenses guess.
Because there are so many options, Amani Toomer says there is competition. Everybody wants to get his catches and show what they can do. But he says it's a healthy competition. With the Giants, Colleen Dominguez, ESPN.
People question why the Giants threw Eli out there to the Wolves last year. It didn't look like much then, but that on-the-job training is paying off this year in a huge way. 3 times the touchdowns and 2 times the passer rating, with a huge game in the Meadowlands this weekend against the Redskins.
The bad is he has to cover me. The good is he can save 10% by switching insurance to Geico.
This Sunday, it'll be Al Harris's turn to cover number 85. And even Chad Johnson admits he may be the best DB he faces all season ahead. Will Harris be getting the last laugh? And have we seen the end of Johnny Damon, his hair, and Manny Ramirez in Red Sox world? And will the last of the big three, Barry Zito, head out of Oakland? We look ahead to baseball's offseason next.
Hello, friend. You don't need to own music to discover music, to love music, to share music. 1.5 million songs, unlimited access. Own nothing, have everything. Join us.
Hey, Teddy, I hate to... Decaf!
$12.
Great shift today, guys. Nice salad bar.
Your favorite players.
Yes.
Priceless.
Yes. Yes!
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
You signed the bread to my little brother. He loves you.
The new Walter Hagen AWS. You get a titanium head that's the biggest of any adjustable weight driver, an ultra-thin plasma weld face, and more. Like more distance and more control than ever. Available now at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Start the day with a splash. Bring on the blue. Moving to the horizon. Splash. Bring on the blue. Now you're flying again. Start seeing.
It just feels better with an Aqua Velva man. Introducing Aqua Velva Ice Balm Aftershave. Alcohol-free, vitamin-infused. Skincare from A to V.
We're going upriver to the ship of death. Great!
Adventure has a new destination.
You got 72 hours.
Sahara, now on pay-per-view.
The treasure is still buried right here.
Take a look at this!
And go on a wild journey to the unknown.
Oh my God.
Without ever leaving your home. Sahara, rated PG-13, now on pay-per-view.
It's time to call in the cavalry.
Check your on-screen guide for start times.
Only the 5th time in the history of Major League Baseball that consecutive World Series end in sweeps. Red Sox last year, White Sox do the celebrating this season. Who will be celebrating next year? For that, we have a discussion with Peter about free agents, and obviously one of the guys on the White Sox is probably the biggest name out there.
Well, Paul Konerko, like Travis Hafner and David Ortiz, he's a guy that's completely filled in his holes. He's on the upside of his career. He's going to make a ton of money because he's a power hitter in a very thin market, but I think he's going to end up going back to the White Sox. But when it comes to Johnny Damon, I'm not so sure he will go back to Boston. They'll offer him a 4-year deal, but how much money? They're really a little bit worried that is this guy, even though he's a prime leadoff guy, is he going to end up a Bernie Williams at the age of 35? Billy Weatherly, the next one is the same team. Philadelphia's going to have to spend some money and take some of the contract back to send him over to the American League. But I think Thome gets traded. Cleveland's a possibility because I know he would love to go back there. And the other big trade name, Barry Zito. The A's don't really want to trade him. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He's going to test the market. I would not be surprised at all if he went to the New York Mets for a deal for Lastings, Village, and Aaron Heilman.
It's amazing. 3 potential Hall of Famers, the way their seasons ended, Bonds, Palmeiro, Clemens. You wonder who of that group is going to retire, or other guys.
Well, I think the most likely guy to come back is Roger Clemens, and that's not even a certainty. We don't know about that, but I think Roger will probably come back. Barry's got another year. I think the 2 interesting cases are going to be Sammy Sosa and Rafael Palmeiro. My guess is that Sammy gets a job somewhere at a lot less money, and Rafael Palmeiro retires and goes in peace.
Next 72 hours may be critical to Major League Baseball, the association, Congress with regards to steroids. The pressure is just going to be turned way up on the association, isn't it?
It is, because Congress is saying, okay, you know, if you don't get some agreement, then we're going to enact law which first-time offenders get 2-year ban from baseball. Well, you know, no one wants that. The commissioner's office doesn't want it. The Players Association doesn't want it. There's a lot of pressure. And just don't forget that one of the sponsors of this bill, Senator Jim Bunning from Kentucky, is the man who found Marvin Miller as one of the most important people in baseball history. He knows the kind of pressure he can exercise. I think there'll be a compromise.
You're talking 50, 100, then out, maybe 40, 80, then out. All right, 3 teams to watch for, my friend, next year.
Well, obviously, you got to have the high payroll Yankees. You're going to look at them and see what they do. It's interesting with what's going on there. Brian Cashman will be back. We all know about the pitching problems, and the game continues to go through New York and Boston. The other team I find real interesting is the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. They're loaded with a ton of young talent. You can trade, you can build from. They need a general manager, and they need a manager, and they're going to head in a new direction. The only problem is they're in the wrong division in baseball. There won't be a whole lot of titles coming that way. And then the third thing I would look at in the American League is the champion White Sox. What's going to happen with Konerko, the direction that they're going in. The wild card to me is at making trades and making acquisitions before anybody else thinks about it. In the National League, the first thing I want to look at with the National League is the Brewers, loaded with young talent. They're very close to really turning this whole franchise around. They spent a little heading to the postseason next year. The other club I'm looking at is the Pirates, believe it or not. Another club, a lot of young. It allows every
it is to get to the World Series or win it this year. It ends up being a Chicago celebration. Putting a wrap on it, we're not far off from spring training. Our coverage, of course, continues all winter long.
Well, you might have noticed Larry Bowa wasn't there. He doesn't work for us anymore. Larry Bowa has accepted the Yankees' offer to become the third base coach. Bowa previously served as skipper of the Pods and Phils. He's also served as a third base coach for the Phillies, the Angels, and the Mariners. Go get him, Larry. We'll miss you.
Maybe NBA Commissioner David Stern put it best when asked what he would say if an active NBA superstar ever did what Sheryl Swoopes did, open up about his homosexuality. Stern said, quote, "How many points, how many rebounds?" Meaning, doesn't really matter. A day after coming out, Swoopes, the only 3-time MVP in WNBA history, explained her decision on ESPN2's Cold Pizza.
Me now coming out and showing people this is who I really am, and letting people know who I really care about, and being able to show my affection. You know, it's not accepted in the world. It's not accepted in society. But I'm okay with it, and I hope that, you know, it's not going to be an issue, but unfortunately it probably will. But I don't know. I always try to think the worst, and then the worst not happen, and then only good things come out of it. But you know, I think I'm very prepared for it.
Swoopes worries that her mother will never fully accept it, even though her mother is known for about 5 years. And she's nervous about the reaction in her hometown of Brownfield, Texas. Sheryl Swoopes, mother of an 8-year-old son, Jordan, from a previous marriage, as you heard her say, she also opened up because she wants to be able to openly care about her partner, former Houston Comets assistant coach she is now living with. Donovan McNabb passing the ball 54 times last week, but what's the over-under on the Eagles' air attack reaching the 50 attempt mark this week in Denver?